Part 9. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 81. After Lin Feng returned to his partition room, his heart beat fast, and he calmed down a little after sitting on the chair and smoking a cigarette. He didn't know why Shang Yuna was so afraid of hearing the word shit, but he was certain that he offended Shang Yuna again. Lin Feng has been thinking about it, and really wants to pursue Shang Yuna. If she can make Shang Yuna be his girlfriend with all her heart, it will undoubtedly be a lifelong event. But the current situation is that his pursuit of Shang Yuna has never started, but he has made Shang Yuna so angry time and time again. Beating is love and scolding, but if you beat too hard or scolded too hard, you will become enemies. The extreme of beating is to be beaten to death, and the extreme of scolding is madness. Try not to toss if you can, but Lin Feng and Shang Yuna have been tossing. It's past 10 o'clock at night. The wind had stopped for almost 2 hours. Lin Feng thought that the wind had wiped away the snow, but the snowflakes fell. Lin Feng was riding for about an hour. He stood by the glass window to smoke and watch the snow. The snowflakes were large but sparse, falling slowly and leisurely. It was not as fast as rain and even a little leisurely. When a person is bored, the change of climate may become his excitement, especially if it rains or snows suddenly, his mood will change accordingly. Lin Feng made a decisive decision to go out for a walk. He wanted to let a lot of snowflakes fall on him. The big deal was that he had to work overtime to code words after midnight. Lin Feng loaded his cigarettes and lighter, and was about to open the door of the partition room when he suddenly realized that he had not loaded the money, and he loaded more than 300 yuan before walking out. Although Lin Feng didn't plan to spend, as long as Lin Feng went out, he would bring some money with him. He was not the kind of person who would not have the confidence to go out without carrying a few thousand yuan in cash. Lin Feng walked to the street. He was relatively unfamiliar with many places in Beijing, but he was already familiar with this street. There were people who would walk on this street, and the women who stood on the street would usually choose a place. It's all clear. Lin Feng usually doesn't invest his money in street girls. Even if he sees a woman on the side of the road tugging at him, he won't pay attention. A large piece of snow fell on Lin Feng's head and on him. The coolness in the coldness made him very excited. He thought of Wang Wei, Shen Bingqian, and the beautiful Ye who hated him very much. What is Wang Wei doing? Maybe she had put on her nightgown and was lying on the bed reading a book, maybe she was sitting on a chair in her nightdress and playing with the computer. I don't know what color pants Wang Wei was wearing on this snowy night. Why did he think of Wang Wei's trousers? They were good friends. How could he easily think of Wang Wei's trousers? Maybe because he always wanted to tear off Wang Wei's trousers. What is Shen Bingqian doing? Lin Feng didn't want to think about her, but he still thought about it. Maybe if it didn't snow, he wouldn't think of Shen Bingqian easily. The ex-girlfriend who first made him tangled and then made him very comfortable now makes him very calm, will definitely not starve and freeze. She must still be in Beijing, maybe she is still healing herself, and has not officially looked for a job. And although Zhao Liqiang's so-called love failed, she got more than 200,000 from Zhao Liqiang's hands, and she will not worry about running out of money in the short term. Maybe she lives in a partition room, maybe she lives in 1 or 2 bedrooms, one of which may be bigger. Shen Bingqian will not treat herself badly and will also consider the issue of rent. Lin Feng thought of Ye again. Ye, the daughter of billionaire boss Ye Chen, the girl he thought he would never meet but met at the Jinwu Center. Later, he defeated Hong Ying and even slapped Hong Ying in the face, but Ye beat him again. Ye must still hate him now, because he gave Ye's father a green hat. But Ye promised that he wouldn't continue to embarrass him after beating him. Maybe if we meet on the road in the future, he and Ye will be strangers. Lin Feng didn't expect to be friends with a wealthy young lady like Ye. Maybe he won't meet Ye again in a few years. Lin Feng. A woman shouted, and Lin Feng turned around to see that it was his beautiful neighbor Dainan, the woman who played the role of a man in the love game. Lin Feng's footsteps stopped. Dinan, who was wearing a trench coat, walked gracefully to his side, showing a bright and sweet smile. You still come out for a walk when it's snowing? It's because of the snow that I went out for a walk. For transport drivers, snow will block their money, but I like snow because I'm not a transporter or a taxi driver. Lin Feng gave Dinan a cigarette and smiled. What about you? Why didn't you go to Menfei Yang Disco? I felt a little uncomfortable, so I didn't go. Zhao Fei passed by alone, and I also saw snow, so I went out for a walk. Dinan said. I originally planned to go back, but seeing you, I went back again. If you don't want to go back right away, let's go to Beijing Normal University for a walk. All right. Lin Feng didn't want to refuse Dinan's small request, but he didn't really want to go to Beijing Normal University. When he got there, he might meet Sun Yueling, the woman who had had many relationships with him and is now married. In the previous divorce, Sun Yueling's husband owned the house, so he now lives with Sun Yueling in the staff dormitory of Beijing Normal University. Lin Feng has been there. The area is not large but very warm. He and Sun Yueling are in that room together. We've been drinking and doing that together. Sun Yueling will definitely do that thing with her husband often now. Lin Feng does not know if she will think of him when she is doing that with her husband. If the pleasure hits, Sun Yueling suddenly shouts out the word Lin Feng, her husband might slap her in the face. Lin Feng and Dinan arrived at Beijing Normal University together. Before they closed the door of the dormitory, there were many people walking on the road, some single and some couples. The eyes of couples are more concentrated, and the eyes of singles are more divergent. If the person walking by is your girlfriend, then you will be more restrained when you admire the passing beauties. If you let your girlfriend criticize it on the spot, it will be very shameful thing. The person walking by is the beautiful Dinan, but Lin Feng thought of his ex-girlfriend Shen Bingqian. In college, when Shen Bingqian was still his lover, he and Shen Bingqian took a walk in the snow, although they were not crazy. He built 2 snowmen and said that one was you and the other was me, but it was crazy enough. He once picked up Shen Bingqian and walked 1,000 meters in the atmosphere of flying snow. From then on, Shen Bingqian knew his physical fitness is great. Shen Bingqian said, Lin Feng, you are really energetic. Lin Feng said, if you are with me, you will think I am more energetic. Shen Bingqian said, even if I'm with you, you won't kill me. Lin Feng said, I will make you comfortable, not kill you. I have money and an ID card with me. Let's open a room. Shen Bingqian said that if you want to open a 5-star hotel. Lin Feng said, no problem, I can't make it this semester, let's go. Shen Bingqian said, no, I was teasing you just now, and I wanted you to retreat in spite of the difficulties. You are really excited. After you go back to the dormitory, hide in the bathroom and do it yourself. After we get married, we will meet. I'm always the one with you, then don't blame me for being too lustful. Lin Feng was very distressed. He didn't want to recall the past with Shen Bingqian, but the scene at that time was vivid in his mind. He remembered clearly what the two of them said. Lin Feng, what are you thinking? Are you thinking about the plot of your novel? I'll let you guess right. Now that I have a good idea, it will be smoother when I go back and write. Lin Feng originally planned to use this reason to prevaricate Dinan. Since Dinan mentioned it, he said more. The sound of footsteps behind him lasted for almost 5 minutes. It didn't look like someone on the same road, but someone was following him. Lin Feng looked back and saw that it was Sun Yueling's husband. Lin Feng's footsteps did not stop. Although he saw a very special person, he still pretended to be indifferent, as if he had no impression of that man at all. The man chased after him. His face was not very good. Lin Feng, I want to talk to you. If I hadn't met you here, I would have called you. Lin Feng felt that something was wrong. He looked at Chao Dinan and said with a smile, you go over there and wait for me for a while. Okay. Dinan's voice is very sweet and magnetic. Everyone who saw her just now would never have imagined that she is a homosexual. In that alternative game, she played the role of a man. Lin Feng and Sun Yueling's husband stepped aside. Lin Feng wondered, what do you have to do with me? You and my wife, oh, you and Yueling, have something like that happened? No, are you sick? Do you doubt your wife so much? Even if you doubt your wife, you can't involve me. Are you looking for a fight? Lin Feng was very excited. The man was a little passive, and said in a low voice, one night, she called your name. I am really afraid of what will happen. Lin Feng did not continue to ask about this topic. He said coldly, you motherfucker, if you say more, my girlfriend will misunderstand, and I will kill you. That man immediately took the woman who was walking by Lin Feng's side as his girlfriend, but she did call your name. When I did that with her, she had an orgasm, she. Lin Feng's fist swung up and hit the man in the face. The man had never practiced before, so he couldn't bear Lin Feng's punch, so he fell to the ground and his nose bleeds. Lin Feng walked over quickly and said in a cold voice, I met Sun Yueling when we were having dinner with Shang Yuna, and we're not even good friends, it's just a simple acquaintance, even if you suspect your wife Hong Xing is out the wall, you can't doubt me. If you ask me such silly questions in the future, I will smash you. Don't ask in the future, it's my fault, don't be angry, can I go? Fuck you. Lin Feng looked very angry, walked towards Dinan quickly, and said to Dinan, let's go, and then walked towards the school gate together. The man was relieved. Although he was punched in the face and had nosebleeds and hot pain, he also concluded that there was nothing between his wife Sun Yueling and Lin Feng. At that time, Lin Feng told Sun Yueling not to confess to your husband what you had done before, otherwise he would not only not appreciate you but also despise you, perhaps because of your confession, his fists and feet would often fall on you. On the face, domestic violence will make a woman very painful, you should be careful. So when Sun Yueling called out to Lin Feng when she was excited, and when her husband slapped her in the face, she denied that she had ever had that kind of relationship with Lin Feng. Sun Yueling denied it. Lin Feng denied it and raised his fist. That is, he didn't. The man didn't go home right away. Although Lin Feng's face was swollen, he still decided to go to the flower shop. He wanted to buy Sun Yueling a bunch of roses to make amends. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 82. Dinan could see clearly that Lin Feng hit the man and asked, is he your rival in love? A rival in love is an egg, he is a neurotic. Then what did he do for you? It has already been said that he is a neuropathy. Since he is a neuropathy, what he does may be sudden and hard to prevent, Lin Feng said. Dinan snorted, but did not continue to ask. She was sure that there was some kind of story between Lin Feng and that man, but Lin Feng didn't want to tell her, so she didn't ask. Going back to the big house with 8 partition rooms, Lin Feng wanted to go back to his partition room, but Dinan also followed. Lin Feng smiled and said, do you want to come to my room and sit for a while? Dinan hummed, her slender legs were still trembling, the windbreaker on her body blocked her slender legs, but the windbreaker was fluttering and there was no wind, so her legs were shaking. Lin Feng sat on the chair, Dinan sat beside him, the smell of lily perfume surrounded him, and there was also the faint fragrance of Dinan's skin. Although she plays a man in the love game, she is clearly a fragrant beauty. She has a beautiful face and a graceful figure. Her are full, her hips are round, and her softness is moist. Is the man next to you gay? Dinan asked. No. Me and Zhao Fei won't be the first couple you meet, right? Dinan said with a relieved smile. Yes. Lin Feng's answer was very simple. Dinan didn't know if he was disgusted. He wanted to talk to him about this topic, but he became speechless. Dainan and Zhao Fei were not the first couples that Lin Feng met. One of Lin Feng's college classmates was, and he was a man. The boy's partner is a boy from another university. He once invited the boy to the dormitory to have sex, but his roommate found out. The boy will be very shy when he sees other boys in the toilet, because he regards himself as a woman. He will be very careful when he urinates, and will not be easily seen by the people next to him, and he will urinate when there are many people not come out. At the same time, Lin Feng also saw two girls kissing in the corridor of the main teaching building. He was stunned at the time, but the two girls kissed so deeply that neither noticed him. Lin Feng said in his heart, "Since you two look good, let's kiss me separately." Kissing together is a serious waste of resources. It's like drinking water is polluting and oil fields are burning. "Lin Feng, hug me." Lin Feng couldn't believe it. These words came from the mouth of a woman. Lin Feng looked at Dainan's beautiful face. He was terrified and asked in confusion, "Aren't you a man in your game?" Dainan smiled bitterly, "Don't make fun of me, you can't tell whether I'm a man or a woman. Men don't have such beautiful faces, men don't have such plump breasts, and men usually urinate standing up, so Dainan is a woman. You don't want to be any more. Think. Then why did you let me hug you? Think. Do you really want to? Think." Dainan's continuous answers were all thoughts, and later he said, "I'm a little cold, if you hug me, I might be warmer." Lin Feng said that the heating in the room is okay, and you are still wearing a windbreaker. Dainan said, "My heart is a little cold, so my body is also cold." Lin Feng said, "It is difficult for me to warm your heart." Dainan said, "I am not your girlfriend, and you are not my boyfriend, but maybe you can really warm my heart." Lin Feng said, "I hugged you, don't tell Zhao Fei, or else the two of you will quarrel, and Zhao Fei may be desperate for me." Dainan said, "Don't worry, I won't tell her, I won't cause you trouble, you are very nice." Lin Feng hugged Dainan. Dainan didn't take off his windbreaker, but Lin Feng hugged him even with the windbreaker. Lin Feng felt the outline of Dainan's towering chest, and the softness proved that Dainan's body was superb. Lin Feng didn't kiss Dainan because he wasn't ready to kiss a girl, and Dainan might not be willing to let him kiss. Dainan didn't ask for a kiss. The two hugged for about 10 minutes before they let go. Dainan smiled and said, "Thank you, Lin Feng, my heart is warmed, and so is my body. It's not that exaggerated, is it? It's always been, I know I'm warm, can you hug me again when I'm cold in the future? I'm afraid you will always be cold. Then you always hug me. We are just ordinary friends." Lin Feng was uneasy. He never thought of letting a woman who plays the role of a man in a love game be his girlfriend, no matter how beautiful that woman was. "Don't worry, I know what's going on with me. You are still worried that I will fall in love with you. I will never fall in love with you in my life. If you don't want to hug me, forget it. I won't be looking for you when I'm cold." Dainan felt that she had no reason to be angry, but she was clearly very angry. Meimu glared at Lin Feng, and then walked out with graceful steps. Although Dainan said just now that he would not look for him when he was cold, Lin Feng always felt that Dainan would still look for him when he was cold. Dainan's body is graceful and plump, and it feels quite good to hold it up. Lin Feng's body is firm. All he has to do now is to calm himself down quickly, and then write 3,000 words out, so that he will not wait until he lies on the bed. Don't feel like wasting time, so that he can better fall asleep. Zhao Fei came back after 3 o'clock in the morning. She sold a lot of wine and could get more than 500 yuan in commission. Zhao Fei had a sense of accomplishment. Her beautiful round face showed a bright smile, and her graceful body was very hot. He swayed in front of Dainan. Dainan had slept just now, and Zhao Fei came back and woke her up again. Dainan looked at Zhao Fei sleepily, not in a warm mood with her, and said slowly, You're back, hurry up and sleep. Zhao Fei was very dissatisfied with Dinan's attitude at this time. Dinan should be very excited to see her, then hugged each other and played the game of homosexual love, but Dinan didn't seem to be in the mood at all. Zhao Fei's round buttocks fell heavily on the bed, and the poor quality wooden bed creaked. Zhao Fei complained, I have worked hard to sell wine, and I have been busy until now, for the future of both of us, but you don't seem to care at all. You didn't ask me how my record was tonight. You're so good at selling, you must have a good record. What do you mean by being so good at selling? I'm selling nothing but wine. Can you tell me the whole story? Zhao Fei became even more angry. You're not done yet, people are sleepy. Dinan turned over and turned her back to Zhao Fei, which made Zhao Fei even more angry. She punched Dinan's back very hard and hurt her. The moment Dinan turned over, he sat up, and the moment he raised his hand, he slapped Zhao Fei. Are you ill? It's so annoying. Zhao Fei covered her face and cried aggrievedly. Since the two of them got together, Dinan has not slapped her. The two of them swore to the electric stick before that even if they had a conflict, they couldn't slap each other in the face. Dinan said, I swear, I will never hit Zhao Fei in the face in the future. If I do, I will cut off a finger. Zhao Fei said, I swear, I will never hit Dinan in the face in the future. If I do, I will cut off a finger. In the eyes of Dinan and Zhao Fei, the electric rod is very sacred, so the oath is also very sacred. Now that Dinan has broken his oath, Zhao Fei took out an electric stick in annoyance, and said coldly, do you remember our oath? Remember? Although Nan's mood in this era is a little different from before, she is still a homosexual after all, and women are still more attractive to her than men. In Dinan's heart, many men are still villains, which can only be described by your motherfucker. Then what should we do? Zhao Fei asked. Bring a knife, Dinan said. Zhao Fei has a knife in her bag. It is a fruit knife, but it is very long and sharp. There is no problem in killing people. Zhao Fei used this knife for self-defense because she was ready to deal with men if she had to. He opened the bag and took out the knife. Seeing that Dinan was about to take the knife away, Zhao Fei flashed his hand to the side and smiled charmingly, my dear, forget it this time, remember it later, you can't beat it easily. My face, my feelings for you are still there. Lin Feng didn't hear the warm voices of Dinan and Zhao Fei, but he heard the quarrel. There is no doubt that Dinan and Zhao Fei must have quarreled, and I don't know if it has anything to do with him. Maybe Zhao Fei smelled a man from Dinan's body after she came back, so she quarreled with her. Actually, it has nothing to do with him. It's just that Zhao Fei felt that Dinan was a little cold to her, and then quarreled because of resentment. Morning. Lin Feng didn't wake up until after 10 o'clock. At this time, Nan and Zhao Fei had already gone out for shopping. Their incomes were not low, but they usually didn't go to very high-end places for shopping. Clothes are not cheap, but the price is moderate, as are cosmetics, but both of them are dreaming of making a fortune and want to be a wealthy couple. When Lin Feng was thinking about what to eat for lunch, he missed Sun Yueling and Zhou Qingfang's cooking skills a little, but the two of them were already a thing of the past. Just as Lin Feng was about to open the door of the partition room, Shang Yuna, the beautiful landlord's younger sister and the charming and graceful second landlord, suddenly broke in and collided with Lin Feng, her towering chest hitting Lin Feng mercilessly. Lin Feng knew that Shang Yuna was here to trouble him. Because of that problem, she came to trouble him. Sister Yuna, your chest is too strong, it hit me with a bang, you have to take me to check to see if I have internal injuries, Lin Feng said with a smile. Don't talk to me, I don't like to hear it, you rascal, you scoundrel, you shameless thing. Shang Yuna was too lazy to care about the fact that her chest hit Lin Feng's body just now. She took out a kitchen knife from her satchel and waved it at Lin Feng's head. The kitchen knife trembled in her hand, but it didn't hit Lin Feng's head. Welcome readers to Come and Read, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all in. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Suk Feng. Chapter 83. Why do you always block me? The old lady hacked you. You have the ability to hack. Lin Feng really didn't believe that the kitchen knife in Shang Yuna's hand could hit him on the head. He was very calm, and his smile was disdainful. Shang Yuna had already fought her way before walking into the partition room, but now that she has a kitchen knife in her hand, Lin Feng's head is half a meter away, but she can't fight it. If the kitchen knife hits Lin Feng's head, he will be able to open his scoop, blood will splash out, maybe the blood will splash on her body, Lin Feng's face will also turn red and regret it in his heart. It really shouldn't be given to Shang Yun, and added a block. Shang Yuna's eyes were filled with anger and resentment. She raised the kitchen knife in her hand but failed to slash Lin Feng's head. She didn't even dare to slash Lin Feng's arm, and she didn't even have the courage to cut through Lin Feng's hand. It wasn't that she felt sorry for Lin Feng, but that it was cruel to her to use a knife. She had never used a knife to anyone since she was a child. Lin Feng knew that the kitchen knife in Shang Yuna's hand would not hit him, but he was still very angry because Shang Yuna came to him with a kitchen knife. The moment he waved his hand, he grabbed Shang Yuna's kitchen knife, and after throwing it to the ground, he slapped Shang Yuna's face twice, revealing a sneer he didn't usually show. Sister Yuna, you okay? I advise you not to use a kitchen knife to gawk at people if you don't have the guts. It's very cheap. You are the most beautiful female teacher at Beijing Normal University. Even if you sit on the toilet, you will smile warmly and have something really tasteful. My lady is fighting with you. Shang Yuna's fist waved towards Lin Feng's face. Lin Feng bound Shang Yuna's arms and quickly took her into his arms. Laozi didn't want to eat your big tofu at first, so sometimes it's fine to eat some small tofu, but you made Laozi angry too. Lin Feng stretched his hand into Shang Yuna's chest photo, stroking the pair of towering snow-capped mountains for a moment, then quickly squeezed in through Shang Yuna's trousers and stretched into her trousers. Lin Feng was so soft, Lin Feng was wet, Lin Feng was fragrant, and Lin Feng was stimulated. Shang Yuna was stunned. She came to chop Lin Feng with a kitchen knife, but he threw the kitchen knife to the ground. Lin Feng's hand actually touched her wetness. Ah! Help! Shang Yuna shouted while trembling, looking at Lin Feng's face in horror, breathing rapidly. After Shang Yuna called for help, Lin Feng didn't seem to be afraid at all, and continued to stroke her body. Hurry up and take out your hand, hurry up, I beg you. Lin Feng also felt that it was almost the same. Then he took out his hand, and after a moment of enjoyment, he smiled and said, hurry up and go with the kitchen knife. This kitchen knife is made of stainless steel and is very easy to use. Put it in the kitchen and cut it. Vegetables. Shang Yuna's tears splashed, and she cried hard. Although she didn't lose her body, it was enough for her to suffer. Lin Feng was the first man to touch her part. Soft and moist. Feels great. Just by teasing, it can already be concluded that Shang Yuna must be a top-notch device, but seeing Shang Yuna's tears falling like rain, Lin Feng was still very worried. Lin Feng wanted to persuade Shang Yuna a few words, but he seriously molested Shang Yuna just now, and he didn't know how to persuade him. It's not rainy and snowy every day, so Shang Yuna won't cry all the time. Gradually, Shang Yuna stopped crying, picked up the kitchen knife from the ground and left the partition room. After a while, she turned back and looked at Lin Feng's face angrily. I'm no longer a friend, remember it, kid. Lin Feng nodded reluctantly, and Shang Yuna was stunned. Shang Yuna quickly turned around again, stared at Lin Feng's face for at least 10 seconds, and then said, don't tell others what you did to me just now, or my mother will fight you to the end. I don't remember what I did just now. I didn't seem to have done anything, so I just chatted with you. Lin Feng said. It seems that you are not holding a kitchen knife, but a stainless steel book about a woman's self-cultivation book, written by an internationally renowned woman whose elegance graces the world. You can ridicule me as much as you like, and I'll tell you, boy, it's hard for me to show my self-cultivation in front of something like you. If she knew that holding a kitchen knife is equivalent to not holding it, she would not have put so much effort into it. If she knew that coming over to ask her for guilt would make Lin Feng touch her wet spot, she would not come. If she knew that one day Lin Feng would bully her like this, she should not have asked her sister to rent the house to Lin Feng. But now, Lin Feng has touched her place. Lin Feng moved the most precious part of her body. Although she only used her hands, it was enough to make her feel shy and painful. Lin Feng was also in pain. He also hoped that the relationship with Shang Yuna would be a little more peaceful, even if it wasn't very close. Don't be too nervous. Lin Feng really has the heart to pursue Shang Yuna. He has been brewing and waiting for an opportunity, but the result is that he has not won any favor with Shang Yuna, and he is angry with her to the death. Hope is getting slimmer. Noon. The sky is not very blue, the sun wants to be bright. When Shang Yunjuan came back from the graphic production center, she saw Shang Yuna's red and swollen eyes and asked, "Yuna, what's wrong with you?" "It's nothing." Shang Yuna was very depressed, as if a beautiful woman was going to eat, but was bullied by the person who invited her. "No, something must have happened." "Who bullied you? Tell my sister." "Find him desperately." For the sake of her beloved sister, Shang Yunjuan, a charming woman who has been divorced once, really dares to fight with others. She raised her chest, shook her legs violently, clenched her fists tightly, and looked at her with cold eyes. "My mother is fighting against this world." "Lin Feng," Shang Yuna said. Shang Yunjuan immediately realized something, and said in surprise, "Yuna, you're not really going to find Lin Feng with a kitchen knife, are you desperate?" "I went, but the kitchen knife let him throw it to the ground." Hearing this, Shang Yunjuan immediately gave up her heart to work hard with her. If she wanted to fight, she had to go to bed and use her moistness to meet Lin Feng's uprightness. If it wasn't to take care of Shang Yuna's emotions, Shang Yunjuan would have laughed happily. She resisted the urge to laugh. "You shouldn't always compete with Lin Feng. In fact, Lin Feng is not as hateful as you think. He has helped two of our sisters before, he is good at kung fu. It is almost impossible for you to make any cheap money when you trouble him." Seeing Shang Yuna's dull eyes and trembling body, Shang Yunjuan asked in doubt, "What did Lin Feng do to you?" "Did not do anything." "Don't lie to me, I've seen it all. He must have bullied you. Did he give you that?" "You think I'm you, I don't like being with him." Shang Yuna's words hurt Shang Yunjuan a lot. Shang Yunjuan was divorced and lonely, so she was with Lin Feng. Because she was with Lin Feng, so she felt happy and comfortable, and even her soft skin was more lustrous than before. Popping is fun. Pop is the best cosmetic, better than Lancome, better than Estee Lauder. It is a dish that is most beneficial to women's skin. But now, her own sister attacked her, causing her great pain. Shang Yunjuan bit her lip and began to cry. She was speechless and sat down on the sofa weakly. She twisted and twisted her buttocks violently. The sofa was crooked, and so was her bottom. "I'm sorry, sister, I didn't mean to stimulate you, but I was too angry." Shang Yuna said, "I'm your little sister, I'm ignorant, please forgive me." Shang Yuna knew that her elder sister was a very difficult woman. She loved her very much, and made this woman who had been tormented by life's ups and downs so mad that she, the younger sister, could not feel at ease. Unlike others, Shang Yuna will not continue to act coquettishly and prankly to let her sister comfort her not to care about her, and she will not choose to play down the conflict through the passage of time. In order to take care of her sister's emotions, she will take the initiative to apologize. Shang Yuna was angry with Shang Yunjuan many times and apologized to her many times, but Shang Yunjuan was always not immune to her sister's apology. Shang Yunjuan originally planned not to speak to Shang Yuna for a week, but when she heard Shang Yuna's apology, her heart softened quickly. Sister won't be angry with you because of such a thing. I will try to make less appointments with Lin Feng in the future. If I can order something suitable from the internet, I will not look for Lin Feng, but I still want to know, what did Lin Feng do to you? Maybe it was because he was afraid that I would really cut him with a kitchen knife, so he hugged me. Nothing else. There is none left. Shang Yuna didn't dare to tell Lin Feng that she touched her chest and then put her hand into her panties, for fear that her sister would be sad. Although her sister let Lin Feng do that, she didn't want Lin Feng to touch her body too. That kid Lin Feng must be beautiful, because Lin Feng touched that part of her. It was really depressing. The rich prince had not yet appeared, but that part was touched by the poor boy's hand. After finding a powerful golden turtle-in-law in the future, do you want to let that man repair Lin Feng? But what if the man asked her why he repaired that kid? Is she going to say, that kid touched me? Just touched the wettest part of your body? That man would be jealous and think she was impure, so he couldn't let that man know easily, and he couldn't easily fix Lin Feng. Shang Yuna didn't know where the man was yet, but she figured it all out. Afternoon. The sky is still not very blue, and the sun is still not very bright. It seems that there are clouds everywhere, as if there are no clouds. Everything was calm. The beautiful landlord didn't come to ask the teacher, and he didn't even send a questioning text message. It seems that he does not need to move. The environment of this partition room is terrifyingly simple, but Lin Feng already has feelings for this partition room. Zhao Fei went to a party with friends, but Dinan didn't go because she was not very familiar with Zhao Fei's friends. Those of Zhao Fei's friends don't know that she is gay, because Zhao Fei's object is very single, that is, Dinan, who has never seduced other women around her, let alone men, because her creed is only love a woman doesn't love a man. She wants to be different. Only in this way can life be interesting. Dinan knew that Lin Feng was there. Maybe he was sleeping, maybe he was browsing the web, but he was definitely not coding, otherwise she could hear the crisp sound of the keyboard. Lin Feng is reading a novel. He can't just write it. He has to read it. He can't make a huge breakthrough behind closed doors. He doesn't expect plagiarism, but he also has to know what others have written. Hearing the knock on the door, Lin Feng habitually minimized the web page, revealing the desktop with natural landscape patterns, the deep blue sea, the silver-white beach, and the tall coconut trees. The moment the door opened, he saw Dinan's beautiful face with a bright smile and a slender and graceful body. Such a beautiful woman was playing a man in a love game. I didn't disturb you, did I? No, I didn't have anything to do. Lin Feng sat on the chair, and Dinan sat beside him. What are you playing? I just read the book. What book have you read? Colored. In order to protect the eyes, I chose a background color that is good for the eyes. The content of the book has no color, only the ambiguity of the appropriate scale. If life is not ambiguous at all, it will be cold, Lin Feng said. Dinan likes Lin Feng's voice, and what he says is either gentle or vulgar. One can't always be gentle or vulgar, just like one can't eat only vegetables or meat. Isn't it boring? Dinan asked. A little. Oh, what about her? Zhao Fei went to a party with her friends. I don't know her friends very well, so I don't want to go. Dinan hesitated for a moment and said, I want to go shopping in the commercial street, can you accompany me? Lin Feng originally wanted to refuse, but what he said was good, as if he was very happy. What happened just now, as if his mind was broken. Lin Feng was very distressed, but since he had said good, just I can't say any more. Sorry, I don't want to go. You go out first, I'll change clothes. Well, I'll wait for you. Dinan went out. Lin Feng took off the clothes that he had been wearing for 5 days, changed into clean casual clothes, and then went out with Dine and welcome all readers to come and read, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all in. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 84. Lin Feng is tall and straight, and the clothes on his body are very cheap, but it does not affect his demeanor. In the vast crowd, there will inevitably be clumsy people who regard him as a deliberately low-key Duojin second ancestor, thinking that there may be immortals everywhere. In the past, there was a beautiful woman in a famous university who loved fantasy. Because the campus covers an area of more than 2,000 acres, it is far from the dormitory to the library. She spent dozens of dollars to buy a second-hand bicycle. When she went to the library to read books and study for herself, I liked to ride there. The quality of that second-hand bicycle was really bad, it broke every 3 days, and the money for repairing the bicycle within half a year would almost buy a new car. Every time she went to the same person to repair her bicycle, it was a man in his 30s. Although he is doing something that is not very technical and makes little money, he likes his demeanor very much. Sometimes plain clothes with shiny ties, sometimes suntan skin with imitation sandalwood bracelets, sometimes wearing old military uniforms without epaulets, leaning against the pedal tricycle, posing a very playful look. When posing in this shape, his eyes are arrogant, and the smile that is so light and almost non-existent is like hiding a knife in a smile. The beautiful college students who always come to repair the car always like to taste the behavior and expression of this car repairman. I once asked him, "Did you vent your anger by repairing the bicycle because you had a conflict with your family and did not want to accept their arrangement?" The mechanic said, "My parents are dead." The beautiful college student said, "Even if you hate them, you can't curse them to death. You can't repair bicycles all your life. You should think about your family's business." The mechanic said, "Maybe what you said makes sense." The beautiful college student thinks that the car mechanic is a person with a great background. Maybe he has a mother with over 100 million assets and a father who is famous in the officialdom. On a summer afternoon, it rained in the sky. At that time, the mobile phone screen was not very big, and it was already very high-end to be able to access Monternet. The beautiful college student came to repair the bicycle again, and saw that the repairman was using a very expensive Nokia mobile phone to access the Monternet. Information about short-term stock trading. In fact, the car mechanic made a mistake, but the beautiful college student thought he was a stock expert, not only good at short-term operations, but also good at long-term fishing for big fish. Maybe his own wealth is enough to buy more than 10 Maybachs, but he is repairing bicycles and electric vehicles. The beautiful college student said, "I want to invite you to a coffee." The car mechanic had just put nails on the road, and business will be very good for a while, but stimulated by the beautiful college student's warm smile and full breasts, he still said, "Okay." The two went to Starbucks with a strong petty bourgeoisie atmosphere, and sat at a table by the window to drink a latte and watch the rain outside. The beautiful college student said, "When will you be able to figure it out?" The mechanic said, "What did you figure out?" The beautiful college student said, "Don't be angry with your parents." The car mechanic said that they have all passed away, and I will visit their graves every year. My hometown is out of town. After I came to Beijing, I worked as a car wash, a hotel running hall, and now I repair bicycles. The beautiful college student said, "Don't hide yourself." The mechanic said, "It's you who are blinded. Don't blame me." The beautiful college student said, "I don't blame you." After drinking coffee, we went to a nearby express hotel. When we took a bath together, the beautiful college student didn't notice, but when he rolled on the bed, the beautiful college student realized that the so-called second-generation ancestor's pants had a hole. It was definitely not performance art, but pants. Wear it for too long, and a hole is worn out by the egg. If he wants to show his demeanor in a low-key manner, there is no need to make a fuss about his shorts. When he is on the street, almost no one can see his shorts. He is really poor. The beautiful college student said, "Get up." The beautiful college student shouted, "Ah, it hurts." The car repairman rushed into her body, exercised vigorously, and then told her, who was panting in tears, that she will repair the car for free in the future. The beautiful college student said, "Go to hell, you won't know each other in the future." Leaving the hotel, the beautiful college student spent more than 1,000 yuan to buy a bicycle of very good quality. Dinan is very hot and walks gracefully. Walking beside Lin Feng, the smell of lily perfume also accompanies Lin Feng. Lin Feng felt like he was in a field where wild lily bloomed, and wild lily also had spring, with a pleasant fragrance. The two of them are very similar to a man and woman who have known each other for a while but are already dating. If they have known each other for a long time, they should hug each other. Taking a taxi to a bustling commercial street, Dinan wanted to buy clothes and underwear, but Lin Feng didn't want to buy anything. Since he was going out, Lin Feng still had 500 yuan on him. He didn't have the urge to shop for himself, nor did he have the urge to buy things for Dinan. If we had dinner together after shopping, he could consider treating guests. Pay the bill, that's it. Nundun Street is a well-known commercial street in Beijing. There are many high-end shopping places on both sides of the street, and Minjiao Echen Shopping Center is one of them. Lin Feng and Dinan walked into Minjiao City. On the first floor near the spiral staircase, a performance stage was temporarily set up. There were more than 10 models performing a fashion show, and the floor-to-ceiling speakers came out with lively music. These models have decent looks, slender and graceful, but if Dinan also steps up, he will undoubtedly be one of the most outstanding. Dinan is a dancing elf. She has a beautiful face and an absolutely beautiful figure. Whether she is a fashion model or a car model, she is very rich. Lin Feng and Dinan watched for about 10 minutes, then walked towards the second floor. Lin Feng whispered, "If you saw a very beautiful woman, would you feel very impressed?" Dinan didn't expect Lin Feng to ask her this question. She didn't know how to answer for a while, so she just smiled, but her steps were more graceful. On the second floor, when choosing clothes, Dinan said to Lin Feng who was beside him, "If it was before, I might have felt it a lot, but now, it doesn't feel so big. I think they are the same as me." Lin Feng understood what Dinan meant. The so-called same thing refers to the body structure. They are women, and she is also a woman. They use sanitary napkins, and she also uses them. The only difference is that they like it with men, but she doesn't. Dinan also asks Lin Feng to help her with her advice when choosing clothes. Lin Feng usually gives very loyal opinions. Although he doesn't have much money in his pocket, his vision is quite good. Dinan went to the fitting room. Lin Feng thought he was dazzled, but he quickly understood that it wasn't his dazzling eyes, but Ye and Hong Ying who came over. Lin Feng pretended not to know him. He felt that Ye Zi and Hong Ying would also pretend not to know him, but what he didn't expect was that Ye stopped, and Hong Ying also stopped after a while. "You brought women to buy clothes. Well, bring a friend here," Lin Feng said with a smile. "Your girlfriend?" "Not a girlfriend, just an ordinary friend," Lin Feng said. "You're still very humble." "I think it's your girlfriend. I just don't know if you have money to pay the bill. The things here are generally very expensive." Ye Zi looked at Lin Feng with contempt, and began to choose clothes in this store. In fact, she was killing time and wanted to see what the woman in the fitting room looked like. However, Hong Ying stood in front of Lin Feng and didn't move. Lin Feng asked suspiciously, "Are you looking for me for something?" "I want to challenge you." When Hong Ying, a beauty from the country of Yu, spoke, Dinan also came out of the fitting room and was surprised to see a beautiful and hot woman standing beside Lin Feng. Dinan walked over with a smile, "Is she your friend?" Lin Feng didn't know how to answer. After a while, he smiled and said, "That's right. I'm not his friend, I'm his enemy, I challenged him just now. Hong Ying didn't give face very much. After half a month, Jinwu Center will bet 100,000 yuan. If you don't have that much money, hurry up and go. Lend it? If you don't accept my challenge, then you're a jerk. Lin Feng doesn't like the term soft eggs very much, because his eggs have always been hard and can continue to be hard for decades. Accepted, Lin Feng said. I didn't expect that Hong Ying would take the opportunity to challenge Lin Feng, but since Hong Ying's words have already been said, she can't take the opportunity to dismantle the platform, otherwise Hong Ying will be very embarrassed. Hong Ying is the person beside her. Hong Ying has no face, that's why she has no face. I had already seen that the woman beside Lin Feng was very delicate, and she was surprised by her beauty. Her face was too beautiful and her body was too hot. Was quite confident in her appearance, but she had to admit that the woman next to Lin Feng was not inferior to her in terms of appearance. That woman is very temperamental, but she definitely won't be a rich lady, because she doesn't have that rich heritage. A truly wealthy person, even if he dresses down very plainly, can easily see it from some details by a discerning person. Lin Feng has a lot of eyesight. She can see that the women around Lin Feng are not too rich. Zi and Hong Ying walked away together. Zi said, that kid Lin Feng is quite a woman. You can see that the woman beside him is too beautiful. It's pretty enough. I don't know why such a beautiful woman can fall in love with Lin Feng, Hong Ying said. In terms of financial background, Lin Feng is not good, but he may have his own unique charm. In fact, we don't know Lin Feng very well. Miss Zi, you don't like Lin Feng, right? Don't forget, Don't say it, I didn't like him, I just said a few words casually, Zi said. Also, you shouldn't challenge Lin Feng just now, you are not his opponent. It wasn't before, but after half a month, I will make him lose so badly, and I will beat him to the point of blood. Hong Ying thought, if he just beat me last time, it's nothing, but he also slapped me, I won't forgive him lightly. Hong Ying, think about it clearly, after half a month, you might still be the loser, Zi said. I'm sure to defeat him. I was thinking about his kung fu some time ago. I can break his kung fu and let him see my power. Hong Ying seems to be very confident, but Zi still feels that this matter is very hanging, and Lin Feng's kung fu is indeed very high. I'm afraid Lin Feng doesn't have a 100,000 bet, and he won't borrow money just to fight you. Even if he has no money, my purpose is to defeat him and repair him severely. Miss, you can repair him with me at that time. Hong Ying was very excited. What Ye was worried about was that he couldn't repair Lin Feng, but instead asked him to repair it. Dainan spent almost 3,000 yuan in Minjiao City, but Lin Feng didn't spend a penny. After walking out together, the cold wind blew on the two of them. Dainan shivered obviously. It's cold, your clothes are a little thin, let's go back, Lin Feng said with a smile. If you continue to stroll around, you may meet someone again. If Zhao Fei sees it, it will be a bad dish. I won't let her see it. Her gatherings with friends are kaesong dinners, and she won't go shopping with a group of people. Anything is possible, Lin Feng thought. My right eyelid kept twitching, as if something was going to happen. Dainan insisted to continue shopping. Lin Feng felt that it was better to find a quiet place to sit down, so that the probability of Zhao Fei seeing it was much lower. There is a theme park nearby. Lin Feng and Dainan walked in. There are many sculptures and many trees are planted. Most of them are deciduous trees. This season is a bit depressed. Lin Feng and Dainan sat down on a bench near several statues. Dainan asked curiously, what is the name of the woman who challenged you? Red Shadow. Her surname is Hong. It's not that her surname is Hong, it's that she likes red very much, so she is called Hong Ying. She is a very skilled person, Lin Feng said. Is she the bodyguard of that ladylike beauty? It's amazing, I finally saw the beautiful woman who took her bodyguard to the mall. That woman named Yezi is so beautiful, even more beautiful than me, Dinan sighed. In terms of looks, you two are similar. Are you flattering me too much? I'm not as beautiful as her, let alone her temperament. At first glance, she is very rich. Who is she? Don't ask. Linfeng doesn't want to say too much, otherwise Dinan will become more and more curious. Welcome to reading. The latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all available. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 85. Dinan hesitated, since Linfeng didn't let her ask, she couldn't continue to ask, lest Linfeng would be disgusted, but Dinan still wanted to know about Yezi and Hong Ying. Linfeng felt that although Dinan was a dancer in a disco, not a white-collar and golden-collar worker, she should have heard of Hung To Company. If she knew that Ye was the daughter of the owner of Hung To Company, she would be shocked, because it was a symbol of wealth. Of course, there is also status. Ye Chen is not just as simple as having money. Over the years, he must have woven a strong network of relationships. Dinan, you have disappointed me so much. It was Zhao Fei who was screaming. At the same time, there were 6 women and 3 men beside Zhao Fei. Zhao Fei's scream shocked the group of people. They didn't even know that Zhao Fei was gay, but they knew that Zhao Fei and Dinan had a good relationship and were very strong sisters. Zhao Fei, what's the matter? The person who is with Dinan can't be your boyfriend, right? No, I don't have a boyfriend. Zhao Fei looked pale and walked over quickly, wanting to slap Dinan, but Dinan avoided it. What's wrong with you? You're sick. I've seen it for a long time. Your relationship with Linfeng is not ordinary, but you lied to me that you and Linfeng have nothing to do with each other. Are you worthy of our oath? Zhao Fei even mentioned the oath of each other. Suddenly, those few friends knew that Zhao Fei and Dinan were in love with each other. They were stunned. We have been with each other for a long time before, and I haven't discovered such a big secret. Zhao Fei is too good at hiding herself. One of the burly men was stimulated and wanted to give Linfeng a meal, so as to show his power in front of the beautiful woman. His purpose is very clear. Let's talk about bleeding first. Linfeng pushed his arm away and punched him in the face. The man screamed and fell to the ground. This man's burly figure and muscles trained in the gym looked vulnerable in front of Linfeng. After being knocked to the ground by Linfeng, blood dripped from the corners of his mouth, gold stars in his eyes, and he was extremely sad. He once again paid for being in front of beautiful women. Cost. In the gym, he was beaten by a man who was 10 centimeters taller than him and looked very thin. He was beaten badly that time. He lay in the hospital and called a few friends to come over and try to get back to the scene. It turns out that the lean man is a master of the garrison, a tiger spear that cuts people very sharply and doesn't need to take any responsibility. Fast enough and ruthless. King Kung Fu. Linfeng's boy was still a trainer, which surprised the people around Zhao Fei. The other people did not have the urge to besiege Linfeng, and Linfeng did not want to continue fighting. Dinan, it's time to go. Oh. Dinan was in pain. She wanted to say something to Zhao Fei, but Zhao Fei was crying so hard at this time, obviously she couldn't hear anything. Linfeng and Dinan walked towards the gate of the theme park, and the people behind them were still comforting Zhao Fei. Don't cry, you are amazing. I didn't expect you to be like this. It doesn't matter. Dinan cheated. You can find someone else. Is that kid Linfeng really good at Kung Fu? You can see that he beats people very neatly. With such a big man, Gao Fan actually made Linfeng fly out. Gao Fan seems to have practiced karate for a while before, and threatened to clean up 3 or 5 ordinary people by himself. The attempt to slap Linfeng in the face was unsuccessful, but the guy who made Linfeng slammed into the face and flew out and kept bleeding was called Gao Fan. He had indeed practiced karate for half a year before. Although it is impossible to reach the level of a top-level master after practicing for half a year, he still has a lot of experience in dealing with ordinary people. However, in order to be cool, Gao Fan did not perform karate kung fu, but wanted to slap Lin Feng in class, but Lin Feng turned against him. Come and teach him a lesson. Fortunately, Gao Fan didn't use his karate kung fu. Otherwise, he would be beaten harder. It is not ruled out that Lin Feng would knock out Gao Fan's teeth and break his ribs. Guns are tougher. Dainan followed Lin Feng into his partition room, jumped on Lin Feng's bed and started crying. Lin Feng thought to himself, that was my bed, but there was no way. Dainan was very sad, he couldn't stop Dainan from jumping onto his bed and crying. It seems that the relationship between Dainan and Zhao Fei is about to go wrong. Even if this misunderstanding is resolved, it is unlikely that the two of them will be as glued together as before. Nearly half an hour later, Dainan sat up, her hair was a little messy, covering half of her face, her beauty was blurred, and she said astonishingly, I've decided, I won't be gay. I thought it was trouble, but now it seems to be a good thing. For a beautiful woman like you, you should find a good man. It's boring to play sex. Actually, I was thinking about this half a year ago, but I hate men too much. Although I am polite to my friends, I hate men from the bottom of my heart. Dainan choked, my bastard, he is so sorry for me. Well, what other people's fathers are like, but my father is like this, and my mother is not a good thing. Dainan is also one of all the people Lin Feng met who hated his parents so much. It is undoubtedly a great misfortune to have such unbearable parents alone. Dainan is a deeply hurt person, and it is not easy to comfort him. Lin Feng lit a cigarette. He had no reason to be nervous, but his hands were shaking. Dainan laughed exaggeratedly when he saw Lin Feng's hands shaking. Oh ha ha. Ha ha ha. Lin Feng, don't be afraid, I won't chase you. You know that Zhao Fei and I have a nondescript relationship, so I don't want to be your girlfriend and make fun of me when you think of it. In this era, Nan's artistic conception is somewhat similar to that of Bai Shan at the beginning. She has a disgraceful past and is worried about being ridiculed, so she will not be a girlfriend to a man who knows them well. It's good to be an ordinary friend. Lin Feng definitely didn't want Dainan to be his girlfriend. He didn't mind being an ordinary friend or even having a little flirtation with Dainan, but he didn't mind that his girlfriend or future wife used to be a homosexual. Lin Feng is tolerant of people and life, but he also has things he cares about. No one's tolerance will reach the limitless level. A man who has been tolerant for decades may kill someone in anger because someone touched his pain nerve. A woman who has been tolerant for decades may be poisoned and set on fire because others have hurt her self-esteem. Lin Feng is not easy to do extreme things, but he will stick to his principles without hesitation. Can you be my friend? Dainan said. I will treat you as a friend, Lin Feng said. Although I'm a woman, you can treat me as your buddy. Oh, don't get me wrong, I don't want to continue pretending to be a man. I know what you mean. In fact, women can also be men's buddies, as long as the relationship is strong enough. Lin Feng said in his heart, it's just that there is a situation that can easily happen. Men and women with strong relationships are also easy to do that kind of thing. Because of their different body structures, one can attract the other. After 10 o'clock in the evening, the streets of Beijing were brilliantly lit. Although a mess happened during the day, first met Ye and Hongying in Minjiao City, Ye's eyes showed hatred for him, and Hongying challenged him face to face. The bet was 100,000 yuan. Later, he met Zhao Fei's gang at that theme park, and it was a mess. However, Lin Feng was still in a good mood. As long as his fingers flew, he could create his wealth. Hearing the knock on the door, Lin Feng knew it was Dainan. The moment he opened the door, he saw Dainan in a night dress. She was slender and graceful, very elegant, Her tall were prominent, and her body was glowing with lily perfume. Smell. Lin Feng was very intoxicated, but he was also very sober. Is Zhao Fei not coming back yet, making you anxious? Dinan walked in, and when Lin Feng closed the door, she said, I don't plan to continue to maintain that nondescript relationship with Zhao Fei, but I'm still very worried that something will happen to her. I definitely don't know Zhao Fei better than you do, but I can also see that she is a woman who knows how to protect herself. Even if you make trouble with her, even if she is heartbroken, she will not commit suicide. There are many people in this world who can't think of suicide, but suicide will not happen to Zhao Fei, Lin Feng said. Dinan recognized Lin Feng's analysis, she nodded, and soon became silent, as if recalling her and Zhao Fei's past, as if she was thinking about something else. Lin Feng originally wanted to write 2,000 words, but the moment Dinan walked in, he had no idea, and suddenly felt that his head was huge, a bit like smoking too much at one time. Lin Feng didn't want to irrigate, so he wouldn't write in this state. Lin Feng closed the document, sat on a chair, and faced Dinan. Dinan was sitting on Lin Feng's bed, and the night dress would float gently when his slender legs moved slightly. There seemed to be wind in this room, but there was clearly no wind in this room. Maybe Zhao Fei will find someone to deal with you. That person Zhao Fei is sometimes quite a cornerstone. He has used this method to repair people before. After a few times, no one else bites her back, so she earns enough face. Maybe she'll find someone this time. It's okay, if she finds someone to beat me, then most of the people who get beaten are the people she finds. Lin Feng said it easily, but he was also very worried in his heart. It is very enjoyable to beat people, but once he starts, he may break people. Even if he has a lot of experience in beating people, he can't help but beat them a few times and kill them. Then he's finished. Zhao Fei had better stop making trouble, she had better calm down and move away after separating from Dinan. But things didn't develop according to Lin Feng's expectations. Dinan guessed right, Zhao Fei was indeed looking for someone. The person Zhao Fei was looking for was Brother Lu, who was very busy in the vicinity of Menfei Yang Disco, and often played girls for free and ate dinner for free. Brother Liu's real name is Lu Haishan. He is about 178 in height and has a strong body. He is not bald but has a bald head all year round. There is a scar about 10 centimeters on his forehead. His arms, chest, and back are tattooed. Mouth, I like to squint when I look at people, and even when I pee, I stand obliquely. After urinating, I will hold the thing upside down for a long time, which can suffocate the people in the line behind. Lu Haishan has been in prison for 3.5 years for fighting, so he is obviously a ruthless character. He is a wild way to fight, but he has rich experience and dares to be ruthless. Even people who have practiced for a while may not be able to deal with him. Zhao Fei and Lu Haishan met at the Menfei Yang Disco. When they were drinking at the booth, Lu Haishan kept looking at Zhao Fei's face and chest with greedy eyes, and really wanted to press Zhao Fei onto the bed. Once, Zhao Fei didn't tell Lu Haishan that she and Dinan were in love with each other, but only said that Lin Feng bullied her, which made Lu Haishan very puzzled. Why did that kid Lin Feng bully you? Did he tease you? That's right. What does it mean? What did he do to you? Lu Haishan seemed quite domineering. He touched my chest. Do you think, who am I? Can my chest be touched casually? Zhao Fei was a little arrogant. Lu Haishan is very angry. He used to touch Zhao Fei's chest through his clothes. Every time Zhao Fei's reaction is very fierce, Lin Feng may have reached out to Zhao Fei's chest and touched it. How did he touch you? Brother Lu, you'll be angry if you ask me again, Zhao Fei said. It seemed that he was really embarrassed, and he was not allowed to ask any more questions. Lu Haishan showed an evil smile. I helped you, how are you going to repay me? Zhao Fei had already thought about it. She looked left and right, and whispered, let you do that one time. Lu Haishan had long thought about that Zhao Fei. He was very excited to hear her say that, and smiled. Okay, let's see how I deal with him. At least let him sew 10 stitches on his head, and at least let his arms be slung over his shoulders. A month. Zhao Fei imagined that it would be fun if he could pack Lin Feng into that way. Lin Feng writes online novels, so he can't code words with his arms slung over. Let him seduce Dainan. Fifa, I'm very interested in your brother Lu tonight. It's a matter of time to clean up Lin Feng, why don't you come first? No. I'll make you very comfortable, I have tricks. No, you'd better hit Lin Feng first. I'll satisfy you only if you satisfy me. Brother Lu, you are a very personable man, don't let me down. Zhao Fei smiled charmingly. Lu Haishan didn't really want to go to Zhao Fei once. He wanted to develop Zhao Fei into his lover. If he wanted to, he could go to her until he was bored. I'll do it as soon as possible. Please, Brother Lu, I don't think you will let me down. I'm going to sell wine, so I won't accompany you for now. Welcome to reading, the latest, fastest and most popular. The serialized works are all available at. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 86. Lu Haishan watched Zhao Fei's buttocks twist, and her saliva was almost drooling. When Zhao Fei was waiting, she must use all 18 martial arts, so that she cried and called her mother. That night, Zhao Fei really didn't come back. She stayed at a friend's house. Before this friend didn't know that Zhao Fei was gay, because Zhao Fei didn't show anything too much. Now that I know it, I can't help but feel a pimple in my heart. I'm very surprised. After looking at her face for a long time, I didn't dare to sleep in the same bed with her. This is a one-bedroom house. It was bought by this woman a few years ago. It was a relatively early start. At that time, the house price was not high. She often shows off now. If I sell this house now, I will be able to earn 800,000 immediately. But where do you live after you sell it? Going to buy a bigger new house, she doesn't have that ability yet, so this house won't bring her too much money to enjoy, but it can become the capital for her to show off, and it can win the envious eyes of many people around. One room and one living room can be displayed within the scope of the situation. If it is a luxury house, it can have an extraordinary effect. If it is a large villa with a cost of tens of millions or even over 100 million, it can brighten the eyes of many people. Beijing is the city with the most wealthy people in China. There are many villas and mansions. A few billions is not considered a top-level billionaire, but only a few hundred billion can be counted as a house. If it is to combine wealth and relationship network to determine status, it will be much more complicated. Maybe a person worth tens of millions can clean up a person worth more than 1 billion to death. If she doesn't sleep with Zhao Fei on the same bed, she has to sleep on the sofa in the small living room. She likes to roll over when she sleeps, and she may roll over to the ground at any time. If Zhao Fei sleeps on the sofa, she will feel a little embarrassed. She is a woman who is very interested in her friends. Fifi, discuss something. Tell me. You are in conflict with Dainan now, but we are sleeping together. You can't vent your anger with my body. I'm so scared. Fuck you, what do you think? I won't do anything to be sorry to Dainan, and since we are friends, I won't impose my hobbies on you. Zhao Fei snorted. You think I don't know, you like doing that with men very much, and you have kissed him a dozen times in one night. Are you saying what I did? Are you revenge for what I said to you just now? Your mouth is too open. Actually, your heart is not so cruel. I don't know you yet. This friend is right, Zhao Fei is really not that ruthless, and she can also find someone to repair people before. Afterwards, he has never been retaliated against, so he has made a lot of money, and he believes that a beating is a good medicine for people to stop. Although Lin Feng knows Kung Fu, Zhao Fei now thinks that Lu Haishan will definitely be able to clean up Lin Feng, because Lu Haishan is brother Lu in the eyes of some people. He is a person who can go out and is very powerful. Although Lu Haishan has been in prison and has a long scar on his head, he will have to wait until he meets someone stronger than him to know whether he is a brave person. Having been in prison does not mean that you are not afraid of death. To bully those who can't provoke him, I can't see how ruthless he can be. It's hard to say whether he dares to open his stomach and fight others. After one night, this friend went out to run errands, and Zhao Fei continued to stay at her home to surf the internet. She knew that Dainan was in a hurry, but she just didn't contact Dainan. She just wanted to make Dainan anxious. Lu Haishan called and asked her if she wanted to attack Lin Feng today. Zhao Fei shouted excitedly, thinking. Lu Haishan came over in a Jinbei car. In addition to him, there were 8 people in the car, adding up to 9. None of them had serious martial arts practice, but they were all from society with rich fighting experience. Yuzi, it's more daring to hit people hard. Zhao Fei was very excited and scared when she saw this kind of battle, and said in surprise, "You guys have all brought guys along." "It's not only with fists and feet, but also with guys," Lu Haishan thought, "just like playing with a woman, you can't just touch it with your hands, you have to use that thing. If you are interested, you can use a wax leather whip." It was almost lunchtime, and the Jinbei car drove to the neighborhood where Lin Feng lived. Zhao Fei felt that with Lin Feng's living habits, he would probably come out to eat at noon, and then he could hit him. Even if he didn't come out at noon, he would still be able to do it in the evening. "Will come out." Lu Haishan is a lazy person. He has a lot of free time every day. He spends time today to repair Lin Feng. He must be willing. If he cleans up Lin Feng earlier, he will be able to follow Zhao Fei earlier. He has to take it off. Zhao Fei's couldn't stun her once, and it was not enough to slam her on her once. She stunned her several times in a row, asking Zhao Fei to call his brother, asking Zhao Fei to call his husband, and asking Zhao Fei to call his father. Before Lin Feng came out, Lu Haishan would glance at Zhao Fei's face from time to time, and every time he saw it, he would cry out in his heart, "I'll make you a jerk." Lin Feng really came out to eat. He knew that Dainan was in the partition room because he heard the legend of the phoenix, who was singing, "Oh oh 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 oh," but he didn't ask Dainan to eat together, otherwise Dainan would suspect that he really had that kind of idea for her. Walking on the street, Lin Feng was originally quite leisurely, smoking a cigarette, and his steps were very brisk, but he found that when the Jinbei car tried to stop him, it was not as brisk as before. Zhao Fei must have found someone to repair him. Lin Feng's footsteps were much slower, and he didn't really want to go forward. There were relatively few people here, and there was enough space to use his hands. For those who really knew how to fight, the bigger the place, the better the fight. The Jinbei car suddenly stopped beside Lin Feng, the door opened, and Lu Haishan and 8 other people rushed down. Among them, Lu Haishan and the other 4 were holding iron rods, and the other 4 were holding machetes. Zhao Fei bowed her cat in the car. Lin Feng didn't see it, but he knew that Zhao Fei was definitely in the car. She had to come over to recognize the person, otherwise the group of people didn't know who to hit. "Cut him!" Lu Haishan shouted and leaned back. He looked at Lin Feng with a very powerful look, and deliberately put on a very crooked posture. His legs kept shaking. The people who first attacked Lin Feng didn't use iron rods and machetes, but fists. Maybe if they could clean up Lin Feng with fists and feet, they would not use iron rods and machetes. Lu Haishan made it clear in advance that it would be enough to fix Lin Feng's boy for a while. Don't kill him, or else he would have to go to jail again. Lu Haishan's ultimate goal is to fight Zhao Fei, not Lin Feng. If he can get Zhao Fei without fighting Lin Feng, he will be too lazy to fight. Lin Feng quickly avoided the fist swung by the first two people, and punched one of them in the face. On the man's stomach, the man snorted, and before he had time to back away, he took another punch from Lin Feng in the corner of his eye, opened a hole, and blood flowed down his eyes, as if the eyes were bleeding. It came out of his eyes. Lin Feng has more experience in beating people than he has in writing online novels, and he will definitely not hit people blind. Lin Feng took 2 steps back and displayed his dragon snake legs. He pulled his right leg up and kicked a person in the face. The bridge of his nose was instantly kicked off, and the blood was sprayed and he flew out. Lin Feng kicked out a few more times. Except for Lu Haishan, the other 8 fell down. Mom was a mess, and I got into trouble. Lu Haishan was obviously not as free and easy as before. He bent over to get into the Jinbei car, but Lin Feng grabbed his neck and threw it violently. Lu Haishan flew up and hit the ground heavily. Lin Feng kicked Lu Haishan's stomach, chest, and the third kicked him in the face. Lu Haishan screamed a few times. When Lin Feng's third foot landed on his face, there was a blood spurted out. Lu Haishan didn't even have a chance to make a move and let Lin Feng play like this, which is very sad, but Lin Feng obviously wanted to make Lu Haishan even more sad, so that the possibility of Lu Haishan daring to retaliate against him was slightly reduced. Lin Feng's fist hit Lu Haishan's forehead and the top of his head with great force, and Lu Haishan's forehead abruptly made a hole in Lin Feng's fist. The moment the blood was sprayed, he cried in pain. Maybe he wasn't crying, but the pain and acrid feeling stimulated his lacrimal glands and made his tears flow out. There was already a scar on Lu Haishan's head, but now I'm afraid there will be another scar. The hole that Lin Feng made with his fist just now requires at least 10 stitches. When there are 2 staggered scars on the head, people who don't like to cause trouble will panic more when they see him, and those who are not afraid of trouble will continue to beat him, making him from 2 staggered scars to crippled. Seeing blood oozing from Lu Haishan's forehead, mouth, and nose, Lin Feng stopped. He pulled open the door of the Jinbei car, and pulled Zhao Fei, who was so frightened, into a ball, down. "Brother Lin, don't, please don't." Zhao Fei was about to go crazy with fright. She was afraid that Lin Feng would turn her into mud. Just now, she even wanted to drive in a golden cup, but she couldn't drive. The traffic flow is turbulent. If she really drives the Jinbei car, she doesn't know where she will hit it. If she collides with a car with a speed of over 80 miles, her life will be lost, and innocent people will be implicated at the same time. People. Lin Feng didn't want to pay attention to the people who fell to the ground, dragged Zhao Fei and ran towards the community. It only took Lin Feng less than 2 minutes to deal with the 9 people including Lu Haishan. Has dragged Zhao Fei away. A kung fu master? A martial arts star? Who the is that kid? It's amazing. Maybe that kid was born in the armed police, maybe that kid was a soldier, maybe that kid was a serious person who had practiced kung fu. Various discussions. Various guesses. All kinds of surprise and uproar. Lu Haishan couldn't afford to lose this man, so he called his remnants of defeated soldiers, and drove away in blood. Damn, Lin Feng is really good at fighting, so this time, Zhao Fei's little cousin was fed poison. Brother Lu, let's talk about her own mother. Zhao Fei's little cousin is too dark. She didn't say that Lin Feng is so powerful in advance. Zhao Fei didn't say in advance that Lin Feng was so powerful, but only said that he knew a little bit of kung fu, and also said, "Brother Lu, it's no problem for you to clean up Lin Feng." When Lu Haishan and Zhao Fei were talking about things, they were always in a state of being on top of a golden bug, and he had indeed taken care of a few people who knew a little bit of kung fu before, but he didn't take Lin Feng seriously at all. Lu Haishan and the people he brought really made Lin Feng beat him hard. If he hadn't been afraid of getting into bigger troubles, Lin Feng would have worked harder to slaughter them. Lin Feng dragged Zhao Fei to his partition room, but Dainan still doesn't know what happened. I just heard the sound of rapid footsteps. It seemed to be one person or 2 people. Lin Feng closed the partition door. Zhao Fei even had the heart to kneel to Lin Feng, but after thinking about it, she couldn't kneel casually, even if she was beaten. Brother Lin, I was wrong, I'm a woman, and it doesn't matter if you kill me. Zhao Fei's eyes were panic and lonely. The moment Lin Feng raised his hand, he slapped Zhao Fei in the face. With the slap, Zhao Fei fell to the ground. Lin Feng pulled Zhao Fei up and slapped her twice. These 3 slaps were very loud, pa pa pa, which alarmed Dainan. Lin Feng was beating someone. Who was Lin Feng beating? Is Lin Feng hitting Zhao Fei? Dainan ran out like a madman, and slammed open the door of Lin Feng's partition room. She saw Zhao Fei was already bleeding. Lin Feng, I fought with you. Dainan's graceful and plump body slammed into Lin Feng quickly. Lin Feng thought, you are too creative, so you are fighting me in this way? Lin Feng didn't dodge, let alone push Dainan away, so Dainan's soft and graceful body bumped into him. Soft and elastic. Dainan was so hard just now that he bounced back and almost fell to the ground. He shouted at Lin Feng with all his strength, why? Her head is swaying, her long hair is flying. Zhao Fei asked someone to beat me, and she asked me to beat all the people she asked for, and she asked me to beat me too, Lin Feng said in a very calm tone. Dainan was obviously calmer than before. He glanced helplessly at Zhao Fei, who was covered in blood, and helped her out of the partition room, and went to the bathroom to wash her face. Welcome all readers to come and read. The latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all in Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 87. Lin Feng sat down on the chair in anguish, lit a cigarette and started smoking. Damn, he had another fight. What the happened? I can't do it if I don't. I just want to type, I don't want to hit people, and I don't want to hit women. Lin Feng got a little inspiration through this turmoil, and unexpectedly came up with a limerick, which he named something. Some are life-threatening, some are not, some are slender, some are pigs, some have long hair, some are bald, some are comfortable, and some cry. The blood on Zhao Fei's face was washed away, but her beautiful face was swollen, a little scary. Although Dainan didn't plan to continue to maintain a relationship with Zhao Fei, he still felt that Lin Feng had beaten Zhao Fei too hard, and actually slapped Zhao Fei's face like this. Zhao Fei's round face is beautiful, and she has evoked many men's intoxicated fantasies, but she rarely fantasized about a man's body before because she didn't like it. At this time, Zhao Fei's face was terrifying. Dainan felt very uncomfortable, but she had to accept the fact that Zhao Fei asked Lin Feng to slap her hard. Dainan took Zhao Fei back to the partition room where the two of them lived, and sat on the bed together. The partition room is very simple, and the bed is not very soft, but when they first lived here, the two of them still created an alternative passion, but now, the passion has been replaced by a cloud. Dainan's heart is grey, like a dusty sky. Zhao Fei's heart is also grey, like the evening in the mist. Dainan, my dear, I have been wronged. Zhao Fei trembled and shed turbid tears. I'm not your dear. Don't call me that in the future. I really don't want to maintain that kind of nondescript relationship with you in the future. Dainan's face was calm and cold, but her heart turned upside down. When she was in that kind of relationship with Zhao Fei before, Dainan never thought that one day, she would meet in a simple partition room. Zhao Fei said these words. Do you like men? Zhao Fei asked in surprise. Maybe. You forgot, your dad is a bastard. You said that men don't have a good thing. If you find a boyfriend in the future, you may be even more than your dad, make your belly bigger and dump you. But my mother is also a bastard. Dainan was very lonely. Maybe I will really like a man in the future, even if I get a big belly, even if I might get dumped. You like Lin Feng, do you want to be his girlfriend? Zhao Fei asked suspiciously. Dainan didn't know if she liked Lin Feng's feeling, but she was sure that she would not be Lin Feng's girlfriend, because Lin Fen knew that she used to be a homosexual. Even if she really wants to find a boyfriend, Dinan has to find a man who doesn't know anything about her past, so the happiness index will be higher, otherwise it will hurt her feelings to talk about the past when quarreling. Maybe she will leave Bajan, but she hasn't made up her mind yet. Why didn't you say anything? It seems that you really like Lin Fen. No, I just don't want to go on about this issue. I just want to tell you that we will not be a couple in the future. Dinan, please, don't abandon me. Zhao Fei is very numb. Dinan used to like Zhao Fei's numbness, but now he feels sick. If you continue to beg me, I will let Lin Fen continue to beat you and maim you. Dinan couldn't bear to say that, but she had no better way to silence Zhao Fei. Zhao Fei's heart was very cold. Dinan even said such a thing, maybe he really didn't want to maintain that kind of relationship with her. Forget it, people are unpredictable. You don't have to be so sad, I advise you to find a man in the future, don't play all the time, Dinan said. You don't have to worry about this. I will choose my own path. My feet are mine. I can walk however I want, Zhao Fei said. Lin Fen knew what Dinan and Zhao Fei had been saying all the time, but he couldn't hear what they were saying. Lin Fen was very interested in this, but he didn't listen to it in the past. What he was sure about was that the conversation between Dinan and Zhao Fei definitely involved him. A person of Lu Haishan's level is a scoundrel. If you praise him, it can be said that he is half a person who is on the Tao. Compared with those who are really on the Tao, there is still a big gap between him. Lu Haishan's injuries were all bandaged. At that time, he asked the doctor if there would be any scars left on the forehead, and the doctor said it would definitely be. Lu Haishan is very angry. He already has a scar on his head. If he leaves one more, then there will be two. Lu Haishan likes to scare others, but he doesn't want to scare others through his terrifying face. He wanted to frighten others with his strength. Lu Haishan once again had the desire to take revenge on Lin Fen. He couldn't do it on his own. Lin Fen's kung fu was terrifyingly high. Beating the 9 of them was like playing. Lu Haishan thought of one person, and that was the female owner of Menfei Yang Disco, Black Rose. Hey Rose is 32 years old this year. She is a charming woman. Hey Rose is the kind of person who is really involved in the underground world. She is quite famous in the underground world of Beijing and has a lot of people. The people on the road also give her face more. When Lu Haishan was playing in Menfei Yang Disco, Hey Rose opened one eye and closed the other. Unless Lu Haishan annoyed her, she would have to teach her a lesson. So far, Hey Rose has been beaten by people. Lu Haishan twice, let Lu Haishan drink urine twice and eat chili noodles once, that is, he repaired him 5 times in total. Lu Haishan really wanted to hang out with Hey Rose, and even wanted to become a leader of Hey Rose's subordinates, but Hey Rose didn't look down on Lu Haishan, and every time she told him, "Fuck you, it's fine if you just toss it around a bit, you're a B person who wants to make a big storm, stop dreaming." Confused, Lu Haishan thought of asking Hey Rose to repair Lin Fen, but he didn't know if Hey Rose would give him this face. Hey Rose really didn't give him any face in the past. He seemed like a ruthless person, and in Hey Rose's eyes, he didn't even have the qualifications to be a dog. Will Black Rose give him face this time? The possibility is very small, but Lu Haishan has no other way than to find Black Rose. It's past 10 o'clock in the evening. Menfei Yang Disco was lively again, but neither Dinan nor Zhao Fei went there. Dinan was no longer in the mood to be the lead dancer, and Zhao Fei was no longer in the mood to be a wine girl. Although they were gay, breaking up was also for them very painful thing. In the partition room, Dinan was browsing the web indifferently, and Zhao Fei was listening to songs with headphones on. He listened to very sad songs, and sometimes hummed a few words with a weeping voice. Dinan felt depressed and slammed the mouse hard. Zhao Fei heard a loud noise, and immediately took off the earphone, and said in a vibrato, "Dinan, you don't have to do this, I agree to break up with you, you still losing your temper, I didn't get in your way just now. We rented this house together, but now we can only live here alone. Either you move out or I move out," Dinan said. Zhao Fei burst into tears. She proposed to live together, as long as they don't make out, they are still friends after all. Dinan said, "If you still want to be an ordinary friend with me, then you can move out, or I can move out, otherwise you won't even be an ordinary friend." If Dinan really wanted to move from this place, she didn't need to ask Zhao Fei for advice, but she didn't want to move, she wanted Zhao Fei to move. Zhao Fei understood Dinan's meaning very well, so she choked, "I will move out, but you have to let me find a good house. You can move to your friend's house first." "I do not want." "Then don't listen to the song, hurry up and find a house," Dinan said. Zhao Fei said yes, but she has been listening to songs all the time, and has been thinking about how to do it so that she is not very far from Dinan. Maybe Dinan likes women again after a while, and wants to be with her again. That kind of relationship. Zhao Fei thought of the landlord Shang Yunjuan. She planned to call Shang Yunjuan to ask about the situation. Zhao Fei went out to the bathroom, took off her trousers, and squatted on the toilet. Only then did she call Shang Yunjuan. Telephone. After asking, Zhao Fei became excited, because the occupant of the partition room in this house would move out tomorrow, so she immediately proposed to rent the partition room. Renting to anyone is renting. If you rent it to Zhao Fei, you won't have to spend a day. Shang Yunjuan naturally agrees. She also guessed that there is a problem with the homosexual relationship between Zhao Fei and Dinan, and she doesn't know. Is it a separation or a breakup? Shang Yunjuan was a little bored, so she became interested in the situation of the beautiful tenants and called Lin Feng. Seeing that Shang Yunjuan was calling, Lin Feng felt that Shang Yunjuan might want to do that with him again, and then smiled, "Sister Shang, I'm not interested tonight." "You bastard, you're not interested, you think I'm interested, I'm calling to ask you, what happened to Dinan and Zhao Fei? It seems to be a quarrel, I don't know the specifics." "I don't believe you don't know, hurry up, what happened to the two of them?" "Zhao Fei is pregnant with Dinan's child," Lin Feng said. "You fart. Are you kidding me? Let me tell you, a family will move out tomorrow, and Zhao Fei wants to rent that partition room," Shang Yunjuan said. "Don't rent it to her." "Why?" "Oh, it's nothing, I just think it's better to have less strange people in your house," Lin Feng said. "If you don't rent it to Zhao Fei, but rent it to someone else, the new tenant may be even stranger. Maybe it's a pervert or a thief. I've decided to rent it to Zhao Fei." "Since you've made up your mind, why are you calling me? Are you sick?" Lin Feng was very depressed. He felt that if Zhao Fei continued to live in this house, something else would happen. When Shang Yunjuan heard Lin Feng scolding her for being sick, she was very upset and said angrily, "Don't think that if you make me comfortable, I'm not your landlord anymore, and I won't give you delicious food in the future. Then I won't be with you in the future. Okay, I'll stop arguing with you, hurry up and code, and I'll make something delicious for you later." Shang Yunjuan immediately compromised, because she still wanted Lin Feng to continue to have with her, and Lin Feng wanted to make her comfortable. Lu Haishan really found Black Rose. Seeing that Lu Haishan made people fight like this, Black Rose was very curious. After asking, he became even more curious. How can a boy who looks ordinary be able to have such a powerful kung fu? One hit 9, fast and ruthless, and he didn't get hurt at all. He was obviously a top-level expert. Hey Rose didn't help Lu Haishan clean up Lin Feng's heart at all, but was quite interested in Lin Feng and wanted to get to know Lin Feng. If Lin Feng is willing to work for her, that would be great. Because it was on the Tao, Black Rose was particularly interested in two types of people. One is a big man who can make peace, and the other is a ruthless character who can fight very well. Although Black Rose didn't see how Lin Feng fought, he also felt that Lin Feng was indeed a very capable person. Being young and capable of fighting is her favorite. If she can still be a little green when she is impulsive, then she is very suitable to be cannon fodder. Hey Rose, help me, although I am not your subordinate, we have been friends for several years. It will help you. Hey Rose said in her heart, just because of your virtue, people will be scolded at every turn. You are also worthy of being my friend. With a friend like you, I don't know how many people will be lost. I knew you would help me. I will spend a lot in your disco in the future. What are you going to do with Lin Feng? I definitely have my own way, don't ask so many questions, you go first, I will call you when I come back to clean up Lin Feng, Hey Rose said. Lu Haishan walked out. Hey Rose thought about whether to contact Lin Feng immediately. Lu Haishan had already given her Lin Feng's mobile phone number. After thinking for a while, Hey Rose dialed Lin Feng's phone number. The moment she made the call, she regretted it. She was the boss, so it was inappropriate to call Lin Feng in person. She should have just found a subordinate to contact him, but Lin Feng has already picked up. Hello, who are you? I'm your sister. Oh, no, I'm your sister. Black Rose turned out to be a little flustered, she hadn't felt this magical for a long time. Are you my sister or my sister? Oh, no, who are you? Lin Feng said. This kid is quite interesting, just a few words of ridicule made her feel very happy. Hey Rose said, I'm Hey Rose, the owner of Menfei Yang Disco, someone wants me to help him make you crippled, if you still want to walk on two legs, come here immediately, if you want to use crutches or a wheelchair, I can do it for you soon. Black Rose's ruthlessness is quite deterrent. At this moment, her voice is intoxicated, but her words are ruthless. Lin Feng had never dealt with a woman like Hey Rose before, but he could also imagine that this kind of woman was very dangerous, or that this kind of woman was very powerful. Although he was very skilled, if Hey Rose wanted to torture him, is still very possible. Lin Feng was a little flustered. He had to make a decision now, whether to go or not to go. Even if he doesn't go there, Hey Rose will find him soon. He must have learned his address from Lu Haishan. Damn it, I just wanted to code words properly, but now that I have offended the boss of the underground world, Lin Feng even has the heart to cry. It's better to beg this Black Rose. When it's time to bow your head, you should bow your head, otherwise you may bump your head. Boss Black Rose, I beg you, let me go, I'm just a little person who doesn't make it into the mainstream, you don't need to take care of me. I made it very clear just now. If you don't want to be miserable, then come here. If you don't come, you will definitely be miserable. Don't think you can beat you if you are very good. You can beat 9 people. But can you beat 100 people? Lin Feng obviously couldn't pick 100 people by himself. Even if his dragon and snake legs were strong, if 100 people charged at him with iron bars, he would basically be beaten to death. I cannot. Then you will come. Black Rose's voice was not so intoxicated, it became icy cold. Black Rose was furious. Lin Feng was even more panicked. I'll go. You scold me? You're tired of living crooked. I said I'd go find you. Lin Feng thought to himself, these 2 words are very succinct, but they are always misunderstood. I have to try to avoid these 2 words in the future. If I can't see you tonight, I'll clean you up tomorrow. Black Rose hung up the phone after she finished speaking. Lin Feng was in great pain. He even slapped himself twice on the forehead. What should he do? If Sister Shang was stronger than Hey Rose, that would be fine, but it was quite easy for Black Rose to kill Sister Shang. Although he is Shang Yunjuan's tenant, if he really encounters something, Shang Yunjuan can hardly help him. Shang Yunjuan is a woman who wants money but not much money and has no power at all. She has been living a careful and cautious life, and enjoying the pleasure of in this life. Once something happens, she will suffer. Lin Feng won't talk about this with Shang Yunjuan, but he can talk about it with Dainan. Dainan has been leading the dance for a long time in Mengfi Yang Disco. Even if Dainan is not a friend of He Rose, he should have some respect for He Rose. Understood. Lin Feng knocked on Dainan's door. Dainan opened the door, saw Lin Feng, smiled and said, "Are you looking for me? Well, come to my place." Okay. Dainan and Lin Feng left together. Zhao Fei was very distressed, she thought, and said that the two of you are fine, there must be something wrong with the two of you. Even though she broke up with Dainan, Zhao Fei would still eat Lin Feng's vinegar. When she came to Lin Feng's partition room, she smelled the strong smell of smoke. Dainan was not disgusted. Wearing tight pants, she sat on the chair, her slender legs in a very hot shape. "What's wrong?" "Black Rose called me and asked me to come over. If you don't see me tonight, I'll be maimed tomorrow." Dainan was terrified. Dainan's face was pale, and cold sweat floated from his forehead. "What can I do? Black Rose is very hot, it must be that Lu Haishan looking for He Rose to clean up you, it's all my fault, but I can't help you, or you run. I haven't been in Beijing enough yet. I don't want to run away. Even if you and He Rose are not friends, you must know her a little bit, right? How can He Rose and I be friends? I'm just a small character who is the lead dancer in her field. How can He Rose look down on me and be friends with me?" Dainan said, I don't know much about Black Rose, but I just know that she is beautiful and ruthless and has a lot of power. Welcome readers to read, the latest, fastest and hottest serial works are all available. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 88. According to Dainan, Black Rose should be a very beautiful woman. I don't know what she looks like. A plump and graceful woman appeared in Lin Feng's mind, but that woman's face was blurred. Lin Feng was very scared, and his back felt a little cold. "Lin Feng, run away." "Where did you run to?" Although Lin Feng liked Beijing very much, he really wanted to run away. "Go to Beijing or Shijiazhuang. If you want to run, don't run farther. If I run to Beijing, it means I didn't run. Forget it, I'll go to Yunnan province and find a tongue to cross the border from there," Lin Feng said. Dainan threw himself into Lin Feng's arms and cried, his full chest kept colliding with Lin Feng's body, and choked up, "It's all my fault, you kill me. If I kill you, I'll run away with the murder case on my back. Not only the Black Roses are looking for me, but the police are looking for me too. Black and White are both attacking me. Can I still live?" Lin Feng laughed. "When are you still in the mood to laugh?" Dainan felt that Lin Feng's smile just now was very light, and looked at him in amazement. "Lin Feng, my brother, what do you think? I gave up, so it's easy. Aren't you afraid of breaking the novel? This is what I'm most afraid of. What can I do about it? I'm going to find Black Rose." "I'll go with you," Dainan said. "Don't go." "I'll go." "Don't make trouble, be careful, I'll slap you." "If you don't go, I might be fine." "If you go, I'm going to have an accident." Lin Feng thought so. When he got to He Rose, if He Rose didn't really want to beat him up, he would take a few hits. If he saw that the momentum was not right, he would fight back. Lin Feng even had the heart to kill He Rose. Standing on the side of the auxiliary road, the cold wind blew on his face. Lin Feng didn't know what was wrong with him, but he had offended the Black Rose that was flourishing in the underground world. If the monk Shang Yuna had moved out when they had a conflict in the past, this might not have happened. It's a blessing, not a disaster. It's a disaster, it can't be avoided. Maybe even if he moved out at that time, he will encounter other things now. For example, his thing may swell up for unknown reasons. Ask the male doctor, the male doctor will say yours. That thing is not sick. Ask the female doctor, The female doctor said that your thing is sick, but you will be fine if you hit me a few times. An empty taxi drove over, and Lin Feng put his hand down the moment he stretched out his hand. The driver had a tendency to turn around, but he quickly adjusted his direction and drove away. Lin Feng walked to the side again and called Li Xingguo. Lin Feng and Li Xingguo had an unpleasant relationship in the past, but they were reconciled. Friends. Seeing that the call was from Lin Feng, Li Xingguo immediately picked it up. Why did you remember to call me? Do you have something for me to help you with? You really guessed it right, I offended Black Rose. Which Black Rose? Is it the girl with dark hair, the girl with dark skin, or the girl with black fungus? I haven't seen it yet. It's Black Rose, the female owner of Menfei Yang Disco, Lin Feng said. You offended her? How did you offend her? That woman is very cruel. You got into trouble, Li Xingguo said anxiously. Where are you? I'll find you. It's just outside the community where I live. Whether or not Li Xingguo can help him, Lin Feng is very grateful. After all, Li Xingguo did not shirk. When Lin Feng was waiting for Li Xingguo to come over, he was always watching what was going on around him. Maybe Black Rose sent someone over when he called him and could attack him at any time. A few very strong young people walked in his direction. He immediately raised his vigilance and was ready to take action at any time. If he wanted to pass, he would pass by himself. He didn't want these people to catch him. Lin Feng soon found out that he was a little nervous. These strong men didn't come to catch him, they were just passing by. Li Xingguo drove over, and after getting out of the car, Li Xingguo patted Lin Feng on the shoulder. Dude, it's not that I told you that you didn't write your novel well. What are you messing with Black Rose? I'm surprised. Why did you mess with her? Lin Feng has not yet decided whether to tell Li Xingguo about Dainan and Zhaofei, because it involves Dainan's privacy. Zhaofei is very hateful. Her privacy may not be conservative, but Dainan's privacy should still be kept. As for the reason, I'll tell you later. Now I don't want to say anything. Maybe you will think that my friend is not happy, but I also have difficulties. Lin Feng looked very embarrassed. Come on, if you don't want to tell me, I won't ask. Li Xingguo thought to himself, I'm afraid some things will be understood after seeing Black Rose. Even if you don't want me to know, I will know soon. Lin Feng sat in Li Xingguo's car and rushed towards Menfei Yang Disco. When he arrived, Lin Feng called Hey Rose, and Hey Rose quickly walked out accompanied by a few people. Her beautiful face reveals a unique charm, her wheat-colored skin is very convincing, her long rose-red hair is wild, her plump are very seductive, her slender and graceful body is very hot, and Black Rose is a very beautiful beauty. Black Rose is 32 years old this year, but she is already a fierce man with a fortune of over 100 million. She has 3 subordinates, among which Menfei Yang Disco is only one of them, and it is also the place that really made her fortune. Mentioning some high-end nightclubs in Beijing, Menfei Yang Disco will inevitably be mentioned, and the name of Black Rose is linked to Menfei Yang Disco. There are many top-level nightclubs in Beijing, and the consumption level is very high, but the Menfei Yang Disco, which can only be regarded as the upper middle level of consumption, is definitely qualified to be among them. The reason is very simple. The owner of this disco, Black Rose, is very special. The characters, with a large number of subordinates and a strong network of relationships, are quite fierce. The reason why she is said to be fierce is because she is indeed fierce, not the kind of bluffing fierce, but the authentic kind of fierce. When Lin Feng saw Black Rose's head, she had already admitted that she was a top-notch beauty. The fiery and charm made him indescribable, and it was easy to stimulate the original impulse of men. I don't know how many men have been stimulated by Black Rose. So tender on the outside. Although Lin Feng was very nervous, his body still reacted instinctively. Fortunately, his pants were not very thin, otherwise Hey Rose would have discovered the clues. Sister Hey, I'm Lin Feng's friend. I learned that he offended you, so I came with him. I didn't mean anything else. Don't get me wrong. From what Li Xingguo said, Lin Feng could hear it. As the son of the owner of the Jinwu Center, Li Xingguo was also quite afraid of Black Rose, which did not rule out the possibility that Li Xingguo had Black Rose clean up before. Hey Rose's eyes have always been fascinated, but her smile is a little cruel. Her eyes swept from Li Xingguo's face and fell on Lin Feng's face. I'm afraid I just called you just called Li Xingguo. It seems that you scared me. I really want to find someone to support you, but you are looking for someone who can scare me. It's useless to find him. Lin Feng was a little panicked, and he could see it too. It was really ineffective to find Li Xingguo, but Lin Feng was very grateful that Li Xingguo could come with him at the risk of being repaired by Black Rose. Menfei Yang Disco is very large, with 3 floors. Each floor has an area of more than 1,000 square meters. The first floor is a small bar and coffee shop with different characteristics, and the second floor is a disco and VIP room. The third floor is the fitness center and sauna. Black Rose's room was on the second floor. It was a very luxurious suite. When she walked to the door of the suite, several people who followed Black Rose avoided him. Black Rose walked in with Lin Feng and Li Xingguo. There were 3 people sitting on the sofa. Among them were 2 women and a man. The 2 women were very beautiful and graceful, and they should all be under the age of 25. Serene eyes sharp. Lin Feng didn't know who these 3 people were, but Li Xingguo knew that the 3 of them were the 3 masters around Black Rose. They were all very powerful. Li Xingguo didn't know whether Lin Feng had the ability to defeat the 3 of them. The 3 of them went together, and Lin Feng would most likely be sad. Li Xingguo, Li Xiao, before I clean up Lin Feng, I want to clean up you first. Do you have any opinions? Sister Hey, as long as you're happy, you can clean up if you want. Even if you find someone to beat me, I'll accompany you with a smile. Li Xingguo really had a smile on his face. I don't want to find someone to beat you this time, I'm going to beat you myself. Black Rose walked over with graceful steps, showing a very hot smile, and slapped Li Xingguo twice in the face. Clap. It was very loud, blood spurted out of Li Xingguo's nostrils, and his face was swollen, very embarrassed. Lin Feng was very distressed because Li Xingguo was beaten for him. Through the way He Rose slapped the face just now, Lin Feng could see that He Rose knew Kung Fu, and her Kung Fu was not weak, so she could be regarded as a master. Go wash quickly. Black Rose didn't intend to continue repairing Li Xingguo, so Li Xingguo hurried to the bathroom and washed his face. Lin Feng knew that when He Rose slapped Li Xingguo just now, it was mainly for him to see. Even if he offered to slap Li Xingguo just now, I'm afraid He Rose would not agree. Are you good at fighting? Black Rose made a very intoxicated voice. This woman's voice was magnetic and sweet. Actually, I'm not very good at fighting, but I haven't met anyone who is particularly good at fighting. Just now, my friend Li Xingguo called you Black Sister, then I'll call you Black Sister too. If you think I'm not qualified to call you Black Sister, then I'll call you Boss Black Rose. Although Lin Feng was a little flustered, what he said was relatively calm. You can call me Miss He. Sister He, let me go, I'm just a small person, I'm really afraid of you, Lin Feng said. It's useless to just be soft. If it's that simple, I'll let you go, and what are you asking you to do? You've already been soft on me on the phone. He Rose walked around Lin Feng with graceful steps. Lin Feng felt that He Rose's legs could be kicked towards him at any time, and He Rose's knees could be pushed towards his thing at any time. Lin Feng was not quite sure, if He Rose suddenly attacked, should he dodge, and if he dodge, will it further anger Black Rose? 2 ways for you, either get through between my legs, or fight the 3 of them. It seemed that he was a little too bullying. Lin Feng's face sank. Even if He Rose was a delicate and charming woman, even if the smell between He Rose's legs was very good, Lin Feng would not drill between her legs. Go out, Even if you die here tonight, you won't do that. I'll fight with the three of them. But I have a request that the three of them can't go together. Lin Feng paused for a moment and said, Sister He, you are a very prominent figure in the underground world of Beijing. I don't think you want to be bullied. Human reputation. Then you're wrong. I often bully people. I'm not afraid of being told that I bully people, and I want to bully you tonight. Black Rose showed a fascinated smile again. Lin Feng really wanted to slap Hey Rose and make her smile instantly rigid, but he couldn't be so impulsive. But don't worry, I won't let the three of them play together. I will let them fight you one by one. Before the fight starts, it is necessary for me to introduce you to who they are. See. This skin Snow White, a beautiful and hot woman, is Bai Man, one of my three masters. As for what kind of kung fu she is good at, I don't need to tell you, you will experience it later. This iceberg beauty is Bing Chen, this very masculine man, his name is Sirius. If you can beat the three of them, you can walk out of here with integrity. If you lose, I am afraid you will be handicapped. Hey Rose Road. Welcome to reading, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all in. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 89. Lin Feng has a relatively simple understanding of the three masters of Black Rose, but he does not know what the skills of these three people are. Li Xingguo should know, but in the current situation, Li Xingguo has no chance to introduce them to him. It is nothing new for one of the masters to be disabled. Lin Feng does not want to lose any disability. He hopes that his arms and legs are normal, and he hopes that his head is normal. He will fight. He will bring the dragon and snake legs to the extreme. A few people walked towards the third floor together. The fitness center didn't have a ring, but the space was large enough to perform. Li Xingguo, Rose, Bing Chen, and Sirius all sat on the sofa beside him, and Lin Feng was facing Baiman. Lin Feng faintly felt that Baiman's leg skills were very powerful, and it was hard to say how powerful he was. Lin Feng did not think that his dragon and snake legs were invincible. There is no supreme kung fu in this world, only supreme people. At the same time, Lin Feng didn't think he would definitely be able to beat Baiman. Maybe he would be beaten all over by Baiman. With a coquettish shout, Baiman's right leg was raised, and a powerful kick kicked at Lin Feng. The moment Lin Feng dodged, Baiman kicked over with a few kicks. It was indeed strong enough. Lin Feng even suspected Baiman. Man has fought black market boxing, but there are very few female boxers in the real black market boxing arena. When Baiman kicked her with another kick, Lin Feng quickly patted her thigh. Baiman could see Lin Feng's intentions, but she was half a beat late when she wanted to dodge. Lin Feng's hand clapped Baiman's thigh, Baiman groaned and withdrew his legs to the side. It should be when Lin Feng's dragon and snake legs went wild. The moment Lin Feng stepped forward, his left and right legs roared and kicked towards Baiman. His kicking speed was so fast that people could not see clearly. Baiman's dodging speed was very fast, but she avoided Lin Feng's fifth leg, but not his sixth leg. She took a kick in the lower abdomen. Oh, at the moment of screaming, she squatted down with her hands covering her chest. Lin Feng took advantage of the situation to give Baiman a slap in the face and fan Baiman out. Baiman's body twisted 2 twists in the air and fell heavily onto the ring, making a dull sound. In just 1 minute, Lin Feng won. He was fast and clean. If he wasn't a top player, he would never be able to achieve this effect. Baiman was very embarrassed, but Hey Rose had already called to stop. Even if she could stand up, she couldn't continue fighting against Lin Feng. It's time for Bing Chen to make his move. The iceberg beauty Bing Chen walked in front of Lin Feng with steady steps, and there was a cold voice that was like an air current between her red lips. Lin Feng, your leg skills are really strong, you are considered a top martial arts master, but you beating Baiman easily doesn't mean you can beat me. Lin Feng didn't say anything, but slammed his fist into Bing Chen's face with a whistling blow. Although Lin Feng shot suddenly, Bing Chen was still prepared, avoiding Lin Feng's fist sideways, and also displayed his boxing skills. A savage and ferocious combination of punches came over. Lin Feng tried his best to dodge, but he still took a punch in the left cheek, staggered a few steps, and almost fell to the ground. Blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. Fortunately, Bing Chen's punch didn't hit his eyes just now, otherwise he wouldn't be able to see clearly, and he would suffer a big loss in the next duel. Really fierce enough. Lin Feng understood, Bing Chen not only practiced fierce traditional boxing, but also American boxing, and his speed was like lightning, and his performance was like flowing water. At the same time, Bing Chen is definitely not only good at boxing, but her leg skills should not be weak. What Lin Feng has to do now is to try to keep the distance from Bing Chen, which is more conducive to his leg skills. Kick far away and hit close to the body, this is the essence of Waxia Sanda. Lin Feng doesn't practice Sanda, but he is also proficient in Sanda, but close-up and close-up throwing are not his strengths, his strength is long-distance kicking. Bing Chen saw Lin Feng's intentions and thought, you kid doesn't seem to dare to get too close to me, but the old lady wants to get close to you. Bing Chen made a fake leg out, and pressed her body toward Lin Feng, while an uppercut hit Lin Feng in the face. Lin Feng was just preventing Bing Chen from coming. He grabbed Bing Chen's wrist and punched her stomach. Hearing a bang, Bing Chen's whole body trembled. Lin Feng did not continue to punch. Attack, but take the opportunity to retreat. Facing Bing Chen's waist is a sharp whip leg. Bing Chen hadn't recovered from the impact of the punch just now, Lin Feng's powerful whip leg had already arrived, and after taking a leg from his waist, Bing Chen fell to the ground. Li Xingguo, He Rose, and Sirius could all see that Lin Feng's whip leg had moisture, otherwise this leg would have caused Bing Chen to lie on the bed for a month. He Rose didn't call to stop. Obviously, she wanted to let Bing Chen continue to fight against Lin Feng. Perhaps she wanted to use this to kill Lin Feng's physical strength. Bing Chen stood up, her physical strength was obviously not as strong as before, and even her steps were not so steady. Seeing her approaching, Lin Feng tentatively kicked and immediately took 2 steps back. Bing Chen blocked Lin Feng's leg just now and leaned over again. At the moment of punching, Bing Chen actually lifted his leg and stepped on Lin Feng's foot. While Lin Feng was dodging in a panic, Bing Chen kicked over with a kick, and Lin Feng quickly blocked, so that Bing Chen's kick didn't hit him. His face, otherwise one kick would cost him. Under the impact of Bing Chen's leg, Lin Feng lay back on the ground. Bing Chen rushed over and wanted to punch Lin Feng in the face, but Lin Feng grabbed her arm and yanked it hard. Bing Chen's body lost its balance, and it turned out to be on Lin Feng's body. The towering chest violently collided with Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng felt the softness and warmth. At the same time, Bing Chen also shouted, "Stinky rascal, you eat my mother's tofu." Just now, Lin Feng really did a strange move, and he actually twisted twice towards Bing Chen's buttocks, and then twisted again towards her left and right thighs. Black Rose is very embarrassed. What the is this way of playing? Lin Feng, you are creative enough, it is not ruled out that you have the heart to take the opportunity to eat Bing Chen tofu, you still have this mood under such a severe situation, you're a genius, it looks like I'm going to take a stab at you. Lin Feng stood up, but Bing Chen couldn't stand up for a while. Lin Feng almost screwed him to death. I have played against masters many times before. I have never seen any kind of move, but I have never seen such a rogue move. Bing Chen, don't feel wronged, in fact, I have been merciful to you before, otherwise you will lie on the bed for a long time. The reason why I am merciful to you is because I don't have a deep hatred with Sister He. I haven't even seen her before. Lin Feng was a little sad. I don't know what's wrong, I actually want to stand here and fight with you, Sister He, let me go, I'm afraid of you, so I beg you. The whole place was quiet. Black Rose was moved, and there was even something sparkling in her eyes. Lin Feng's eyesight is very good. He saw the sparkle in He Rose's eyes. Although He Rose is the heroine of the underground world, she is not a ruthless person. Black Rose not only wants Lin Feng to be her cannon fodder, but also wants Lin Feng to be her friend. In Black Rose's concept, friends can also be cannon fodder. Maybe she will be very sad when a friend becomes cannon fodder. Her eyes will be moist. Lin Feng also faintly felt that he would not have a big problem today. He could leave here safely, and he could continue to code words and write wonderful stories for his readers. Li Xingguo also saw the tears flashing in He Rose's eyes just now. Li Xingguo had Black Rose clean up twice before. The first time was because of his second girlfriend. When he had enough fun and abandoned that woman, he knew that she was Black Rose's friend. After that, we can know now, Black Rose called him to Menfei Yang Disco, beat him first, and then let several senior ladies turn him around, almost killing him. The second time was because Li Xingguo's words offended He Rose, and then it spread to He Rose's ears. He Rose grabbed him and made him eat half a caddy of chili noodles, which made his mouth swollen and his throat hurt. Almost 2 months. After these 2 times, Black Rose left a shadow of panic on Li Xingguo. If Lin Feng hadn't asked him to help this time, he wouldn't provoke Black Rose with anything he said. After Black Rose repaired Li Xingguo twice, she would say to him, "We are friends, don't mind." At the beginning, Li Xingguo did see He Rose's intoxicated smile, and she could even see her towering chest rippling through the clothes. He Rose has a unique trick, which is to make her chest rhythmically rippling between exhalation and inhalation. As if her sisters were nodding. Seeing that the heat was almost over, Li Xingguo added a smiley face again, but his face was already swollen by He Rose, and his smile was not so pretty. "Sister He, I think you can let him go." "None of your business. Your kid should give me money when you come to me. How can you stop me? Some time ago, I asked a friend to buy more than 10 kilograms of chili noodles from Shu province, which tasted very good. Give you half a caddy." "Sister He, I dare not." Li Xingguo's tone changed. "Get out of here quickly, go to the sauna department, let someone arrange a cannonball for you, and have fun with this chick." Black Rose made it clear that Li Xingguo had no choice but to ask Li Xingguo to contribute money to her. Sauna has Puzang and Baosang. The cost of Baosang in the sauna department of Menfei Yang Disco is not low. The whole set costs more than 3,000 yuan. If the girl ordered is very high quality, it will cost more than 5,000 yuan. Sirius looked at He Rose's face, smiled and said, "Sister He, Lin Feng is already injured, and his physical fitness is not very good. I don't want to fight him at this time. Even if I win him at this time, it will be fine. It doesn't mean my kung fu is better than his. It makes sense, then call here, Lin Feng, come with me." Lin Feng didn't know what trick Black Rose was going to play, but if he told him to go over, he had to go. Lin Feng and He Rose went to the luxurious suite together. He Rose took out the wound medicine and said with a smile, "Come here, Sister He will apply the medicine to you." Is Black Rose so kind? It turned out that he was going to apply medicine to him. Lin Feng was very worried that there was something wrong with the medicine and did not dare to approach it. "Lin Feng, what are you afraid of? Sister He admires your kung fu and won't hurt you. Come over quickly." Black Rose's smile was even more intoxicated than before, but Lin Feng still didn't dare to walk over. If this kind of potion were applied to him, it would probably cause severe pain or an unbearable itch, which would make him miserable. "Sister He, I appreciate your kindness, you don't need to apply medicine to me, I'm leaving." Lin Feng was about to go out, but He Rose's body moved briskly, blocking him. "I don't want you to go, you can't go. Do you still want me to continue fighting Sirius?" Sirius said, "You are injured now, even if you win, it will be disgraceful. He doesn't want to fight with you now, And I won't force him, Hey Rose said. The reason why I won't let you go is because I still have nothing to say. I consider you a friend, although you are only a lowercase writer, but I still regard you as a friend. As for Lu Haishan, he is not even qualified to be a dog to me. Lin Feng was stunned, because Black Rose regarded him as a friend. Lin Feng was impulsive, because the scent of black roses was very intoxicating. Lin Feng was stunned, because in reality something miraculous happened to him again. Then you can put a potion on me, but I have injuries on my arms and legs, as well as on my stomach. Should I take off my clothes? Take it off, since Sister He is embarrassed. You don't need to be embarrassed. Hey Rose's boldness was truly shocking. Lin Feng thought to himself, Black Rose, you, a hot and charming woman, don't want to drink with me, do you? Although you are the heroine of the underground world, I don't want you to be with me. It's okay to be a simple friend, but I don't want to be too close to you. Lin Feng's idea is not without reason. If he and Hey Rose are just simple friends, if Hey Rose commits a crime and is caught by the police in the future, he will not be implicated. If his relationship with Hey Rose is too close, it can even be called if he is a friend, then the police may interrogate him together, or he will go to jail. Hey Rose is a very smart woman, but Lin Feng's thoughts at this time are a little too far, so she can't guess what Lin Feng is thinking. Lin Feng took off his clothes, leaving a pair of trousers on his body. He didn't want to make his thing stand out, and he wanted Black Rose to see his calmness. But in the face of Black Rose, Lin Feng's thing is really tall and straight, and the pants are held up very high. Just from the outline, Black Rose can tell that Lin Feng's thing is very big. If he is really a strong man, if he is with him, he must be very comfortable. There is no woman who does not like a strong man. The quality of the matter is high, which is a blessing to women. But Black Rose didn't intend to do that with Lin Feng. Immediately her body was a little wet, but the impulse at this time was within her tolerance. Lin Feng lay on the bed, his object was facing the ceiling, a little rebellious. Hey Rose started to apply the potion to his injured area. The cool feeling made him much more comfortable. After a few minutes, there was no abnormal reaction. This means that Hey Rose didn't want to use special potion to treat him, but just wanted him get better soon. Lin Feng didn't stay in the Menfei Yang disco for the night. When the potion on his body dried, he put on his clothes and left. Hey Rose proposed to find someone to drive Lin Feng back, but Lin Feng declined. He walked out of the door of Menfei Yang disco, and the cold wind blew on his face, making Lin Feng smart, as if everything just now was a dream. The moment she turned around and walked back to the Menfei Yang disco, Hey Rose said in her heart, Lin Feng, you are qualified to be my friend and my cannon fodder. When there is time in the future, I will have a drink with you. When you become mine after the cannon fodder, I will cry for you. Lin Feng never thought that such a thing would happen to him, so it was like a dream. He was a person who was reluctant to spend money in an entertainment venue like a disco, but the owner of Menfei Yang disco, Hey Rose, took him for granted. Our friends. This made Lin Feng panic a little bit. He didn't want to have too much contact with people like Hey Rose. Maybe Hey Rose would never have a major accident in his life, but Lin Feng felt that Hey Rose could have an accident at any time. And when it really comes to a critical moment, Black Rose is very likely to use extremely ruthless means to deal with him. At that time, he may be in ashes, maybe the Black Rose will cry, but he will still be happy after crying, but he has disappeared from this world. Welcome to reading, the latest, fastest, most the serial works of fire are all in Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 90. A few days later. Time is like water, sometimes flowing slowly, sometimes surging. The rhythm of the second hand is the same, but people's moods are different. Sometimes Lin Feng felt that time passed slowly, such as when he was lying in bed waiting for the dawn. Sometimes Lin Feng thinks that a new day will have a new miracle, something pleasant will happen to him, and he will meet someone who excites him, so he hopes that the sky will light up soon. At this time, he would feel that time passed very slowly. He might walk out of the partition room with slow steps, stay in the corridor for a while and then walk into the bathroom. Maybe he didn't want to pee, but he would squeeze a little out. Sometimes Lin Feng felt that time passed quickly, and it was not as enthusiastic as he and the beauties. He hoped to spend a few days and a few nights in the exercise, but after tens of minutes at most an hour, the exercise would stop, and maybe it would take a breather. Continue, but there are times when the breathing stops, and then people will become much more rational, and even feel that the extremely refreshing action is ugly. When recalling, Lin Feng also felt that time passed quickly. Lin Feng still clearly remembered what happened in the junior high school era, but it has been almost 10 years since the junior high school era. Those who appeared are basically still alive, but Lin Feng does not know them. It's not clear what they are doing. This world belongs to everyone. It can be brilliant, it can be mediocre, it can be noble, it can be despicable, it can be progressive, it can be decadent, it can soar, it can fall, and it can also stand on the crowded street, tear off your pants, and face people passing by. Say, this is a me eggs. The injury on Lin Feng's body is alright, and his relationship with Dainan is better than before. Sometimes when we eat together, sometimes we go shopping together, Lin Feng can always smell the aroma of Dainan's body. Lin Feng wouldn't let Dainan, who used to be a lover, be his girlfriend. At the same time, Dainan never thought of being Lin Feng's girlfriend, but Dainan fell in love with throwing himself into Lin Feng's arms to find comfort. In Dainan's heart, Lin Feng was a much better person than her father. When she saw Lin Feng, she didn't have the urge to scold you for being a motherfucker. Every time Dainan threw himself into his arms, Lin Feng could feel the outline of Dainan's full chest, which was a kind of softness that could make a man ecstasy. Lin Feng felt that he should not feel Dainan's softness, but he always felt Dainan's softness. Dainan's are indeed very high quality, just like her beautiful face, but it is the woman Zhao Fei who can enjoy this quality. Zhao Fei has kissed Dainan many times and stroked Dainan's chest many times. At the same time, Zhao Fei's hand has also touched Dainan's wet place many times. And now, Zhao Fei is still obsessed with that kind of faith game, but Dainan doesn't want to be in faith anymore. She wants to be a normal woman, because she is a woman in the first place. Maybe Dainan will rush towards men, maybe Dainan will not rush towards men. Zhao Fei didn't move out of this house. She lived in the partition room that the tenant moved out. In this way, Zhao Fei was still very close to Dainan. Zhao Fei always wants to chat with Dainan, but Dainan has no such desire at all. Zhao Fei wants to eat with Dainan, but Dainan disagrees. Instead, she prefers to eat with Lin Feng, no matter who invites her. Everyone likes it. Whether Dainan is invisible or online, Zhao Fei likes to chat with her online. Zhao Fei always posts, "Do you still remember our past?" Dainan always says, "Don't bother me, forget about the past." Zhao Fei always asks, "Can we go back to the past?" Dainan always posts, "And you can't go back in the past. No matter how annoying you are, I might add you to the blacklist." Zhao Fei is always crying, Dainan is always sad. Zhao Fei always strokes by herself, and Dainan always smokes by herself. After lunch, Lin Feng took a walk for more than half an hour. After returning to the partition room, he lay down on the bed, lit a cigarette and started smoking. He planned to go to sleep after smoking, and woke up to code. Lin Feng put out the cigarette in the ashtray and was about to go to sleep. At this time, he received a call from Li Xingguo. Although Li Xingguo didn't help him with Hey Rose last time, he was already a good friend. Now, it is not easy to accompany him at the risk of being repaired by the Black Rose. People who are usually like good friends, but there are too many people who are really shrunk. Li Xingguo naturally has his shortcomings, but also his strengths. Some people think that being two friends is a fool. It is for betrayal, but Lin Feng believes that being good to friends is a strength, and being good to friends will eventually be rewarded. Some friends may not be rewarded, but others may be rewarded. This is similar to mining. Sometimes white stones are drilled, and sometimes iron ore is drilled. Iron ore owners worth hundreds of millions have encountered many white stones, but there are also some unlucky ones. After a lifetime of mines, all I encountered were white stones. Li Xingguo wanted to come over to find him, but Lin Feng could only give up the rest time and let Li Xingguo come over. When Li Xingguo arrived, Lin Feng went out to pick him up and walked into this maze-like partition room with him. Li Xingguo had been here before, but he was still a little uncomfortable when he walked in again. It was almost a place where people lived. They all shouted. Lin Feng is a person and someone he admires very much. Lin Feng lives here. If he shouts it out, it will be a kind of harm to Lin Feng. As she was walking towards Lin Feng's partition room, Zhao Fei walked over to her. Zhao Fei came out of the bathroom, and her hands were still wet. When Zhao Fei and Dainan were still in love, every time she teased Dainan. Nan's body and her hands are very wet. Zhao Fei's eyes were indifferent. She didn't have any interest in Lin Feng and Li Xingguo. She didn't even know that the person walking by Lin Feng's side was called Li Xingguo. But Li Xingguo was stunned. Looking at Zhao Fei's face, he almost shouted, but he still swallowed the words he wanted to shout, showing a very surprised look. Lin Feng thought it was strange. Could it be that Li Xingguo knew that Zhao Fei was a homosexual, and then wanted to point out in person, "Aren't you a homosexual?" When he arrived in Lin Feng's partition room, he sat on a chair, and Li Xingguo quickly lit a cigarette, as if he would collapse if he didn't receive the stimulation of nicotine immediately. It's so similar. Like what? Lin Feng asked suspiciously. The girl just now looks like my sixth girlfriend. I have dated many girls, but the one that impressed me the most is the sixth girlfriend. She is very good, with looks and personality. Her evaluation is very high. She has been pregnant and miscarried for me. I really don't like her very much. Later, I kicked her hard. Later, there are more and more girls I have dated, and I will inevitably do it in my heart. By comparison, I found that my sixth term was the best, but she was married and pregnant. I saw her on the road that time. She walked with a man, with a pouty belly and a happy face. I really wanted to go over and say hello to her, but I didn't want to destroy her family. I stood in a corner and watched her and the man disappear into the crowd. I cried that time, I really cried. Li Xingguo must have cried that time, and Lin Feng was convinced of this, because when Li Xingguo was talking to him, his eyes were wet. The only reason a very romantic man can make such a confession to a woman is that the woman is really nice, so good that it makes the man feel distressed. But she's not your sixth term. Her name is Zhao Fei, and she's the woman who played the role of a woman in the relationship that caused me trouble. She's Zhao Fei, so nice. Damn, she still likes women now, and she only likes Dainan, a woman like Dainan. You kid wouldn't want to play ridiculous games with her. Just like when I see the oasis on the horizon, I will think of Dongfang Kirova. In the future, whenever I see Zhao Fei, I will think of my sixth term. I am so painful, I am so sad. Lin Feng, do you feel it? The world has abandoned me. Li Xingguo, a romantic young man, was a little crazy at this time. Lin Feng frowned and shouted, "Your sister." You guessed it right, I really want my sixth to be my sister. If anyone bullies her, I will fight to the death. If the husband she finds can't support her, I will give her money. Really, your sister? Yes, I will treat her like my own sister. Fuck your sister. When Lin Feng said this, Li Xingguo realized that Lin Feng was scolding him, not guessing what he was thinking. I'll go, You kid has been scolding me. You short circuit just now. It's a short circuit, otherwise it won't trip. Fortunately, there was no fire. I want to get to know Zhao Fei. Do you have any opinions? Since Li Xingguo wanted to play a game with heavy taste, what opinion could Lin Feng have? You want to pin your emotions on Zhao Fei for your 6th term. I'm afraid you will be disappointed. Zhao Fei only likes electric sticks, not yours. I'll make her like that thing of mine. Then go and train her. Lin Feng also breathed a sigh of relief. Dainan told him before that if he could train Zhao Fei from Tong Xinlian, he would be very grateful to her. Lin Feng is a friend of Nan's and he really wants to help him, but if he wants to train Zhao Fei, he has no choice but to use his thing, which may have very serious consequences, and Zhao Fei may warn him strongly, there may be other crazy things to do. In the end, it's a thankless effort. But now Li Xingguo wanted to train Zhao Fei. Lin Feng's mood became heavy after less than a minute. Xingguo, I regard you as a friend. I don't want to push you into the fire pit. You'd better think about it clearly. This is what I mean, and it has nothing to do with you. My buddy had a wonderful encounter, can't you? Since you think you can, then you can, Lin Feng said. After all, it's your business, and in the end it's you who has the final say. Go get to know her. Don't be in such a hurry, right? I cannot wait any more. Li Xingguo walked out, and Lin Feng could only shake his head helplessly. He didn't know what was going on in this world. Li Xingguo was so anxious to get to know Zhao Fei, he would definitely adopt a very excited way, maybe he would make a joke, but Lin Feng couldn't stop him. Zhao Fei was a little nervous when she heard the knock on the door. She knew that the person knocking on the door would not be Dainan, either Lin Feng or Li Xingguo. Zhao Fei had been beaten by Lin Feng, and knew how painful Lin Feng's slap was when she slapped her face. Lin Feng's slap was her nightmare. If Lin Feng came over, would she slap her again and slap her in the face nosebleed? If it was Li Xingguo, what would he do when he came over? Li Xingguo's eyes were very evil just now, would he be a hooligan? The knock on the door rang again, and Zhao Fei gathered up her courage to open the door and saw that it was Li Xingguo. Li Xingguo gave Zhao Fei a smile that he thought was very friendly, but Zhao Fei saw only evil. You have something to do with me. Zhao Fei, hello, my name is Li Xingguo. You don't need to introduce yourself, I know your name is Li Xingguo, and I also know that Jinwu Center is yours. It seems that you still know me a little bit. When I saw you for the first time, I had an inexplicable affection for you. Don't worry, I don't want to eat your tofu, I just want to make friends with you. It's a joke. Why should I be friends with you? I don't like being friends with people I don't know well. You go out quickly, or I'll call the police. Before we chatted much, Zhao Fei wanted to call the police. Li Xingguo smiled and said, the police are arresting gays and lesbians recently. Anyone who is will be locked up. Zhao Fei was stunned for a moment. It seemed that the police had never arrested gays and lesbians before. Although China does not allow gays and lesbians to marry, there is no rule that gays should go to jail. Zhao Fei was very angry, you fart, get out of here. Enough temper. Isn't she a beauty, what are you doing with such a big temper? Li Xingguo was a little annoyed, but Zhao Fei looked too much like his 6th term, which gave him the ability to control this kind of annoyance. Taking advantage of Zhao Fei's inattentiveness, Li Xingguo sat down on the chair beside the small table. Are you going? I really called the police. Zhao Fei grabbed her phone and was about to call the police. Li Xingguo quickly grabbed her phone and threw it to the ground. Zhao Fei's phone fell into a mess, and the phone card jumped high, and it fell into Li Xingguo's hand. Here, welcome readers to come and read, the latest, fastest and most popular serial works are all in.